only thing we have to
Beer.
is
Beer.
itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters, where we're going to bring you the news and reviews of some wonderful brews. My name is Dan Baker, joined, as always, by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and, of course, our from entertainer,
Wayne Baker.
Now today, I'm excited. It might not sound right now like there's a lot going on, but trust me, in a matter of minutes, maybe with the editing, that's going to happen in seconds.
Minutes to you.
Hours to
10,
us.
10 minutes to us, maybe like 2 minutes to you.
Probably.
It all depends how long we talk right now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're on location. We're on the Beer Buster stage. It's really
That's
the
right.
Abbey Bar at Appalachian Brewing Company in Harrisburg. But today is, of course, the 18th annual Capital City Invitational Beer Fest. And our friend Mike Parker has hooked us up so we can be back on the stage recording for the first session. And I'm very excited because we get to see all the breweries setting up right now. We have people we haven't met yet, which I'm very excited for. We have some old friends, of course, coming on. Some new, hopefully, friends. New beers that we're going to try. And you, of course, will get to hear all about it. But we wanted to kick it off before it gets so crazy in here because it's going to be rapid fire. There's going to be German food, which Lord knows I'm waiting for.
Wiener Schnitzel?
Wiener Schnitzel. Yep. But it's gonna be a good time.
Wiener Schnitzel?
I found it. I found the button.
Good job.
This is one of my favorite places to record.
Yeah,
We've
it's so
recorded
cool.
That's because we
some
get to
cool
sit on
things.
couches.
We're on couches. We're on a stage.
You're on couches, but
We've
yes,
got
we are
lights.
on a
We
stage.
have bright lights.
We have
Very
a brand
bright
new
lights.
banner
Uh-huh.
hanging up. So
That's right.
It's pretty awesome.
I feel like we made it.
We
In the
made it.
limelight.
This is.
If
this
you're
is
on the
life.
stage at
This
the
is
Abbey
life.
Bar, then you've made it.
Yes.
You've made it. Especially, we're probably the only podcast that's recorded on the stage.
I would think so.
I would hope so. I mean,
We should put a plaque somewhere, or at
We
least
should.
hide a sticker
Yeah,
somewhere.
we can find places for stickers. But it's going to be great. I'm excited for everything to start happening. The doors are going to open very shortly. It will sound like a madhouse in here, but it's going to be organized, fun chaos. So enjoy. So the doors have opened to the masses. People are starting to flood in. They've got their glasses in hand, getting some beers. And we have a friend with us that was kind enough to bring us some beers to the table. We have Artie, who's coming back. Artie, thank you for coming back up to the table.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks for garnering the stage here for us tonight.
Hey, it's our
happy to do
pleasure.
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks for having us up here. And we have somebody we haven't met before, which I'm excited to welcome you to the Beer Busters extended family. Adam Cole, the new head brewer. How are you?
Good, I'm great.
Cool. Thank
Happy
you
to be
for.
here.
Oh, good. I'm glad. We're happy to be here as well. Now, you guys brought us up a couple of beers. We have the Ruddy Buck, and what else did you guys bring up?
Two other beers that we have currently in our lineup. One is our fresh hop pale ale that we make with Greenaway Farms hops, and we also have our Capona Fest coming out right now, just in time for our Oktoberfest celebration here for the next 3 weeks at the brewery.
Very cool.
My favorite time of year.
It's a good time of year indeed.
I love breaking out the dirndl.
So, Adam, Artie was telling us that you were with Appalachian and you went to Victory, was it?
Yes, correct.
Cool. And then he came back to Appalachian to kind of take over all the brewing here. What's it like coming back?
It's different being in the head brewer position, but everything else is really the same. A lot of the equipment is the same. We have an upgraded hot water system that I'm working with. Other than that, I'm just applying everything I learned from working at Victory to our recipes here when it comes to pH and match chemistry.
Do you have any new recipes in the works?
Not right now.
Okay.
I've just been tweaking some of the recipes we have in existence.
All right. Very cool. What's your favorite one to brew here?
Mount Lager and IPA.
Ooh.
Two very different styles.
Yes.
Two different families. Now, the fresh hop ale, I've never had that. This is a pretty new beer. When did this one debut?
I believe this is our third year or fourth year. We met Dan Greenaway from Greenaway Farms, and he's a local hop farmer up by State College.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to us and said, "Hey, I've got hops. Will you buy them from me at a really high price?" And I said, "Yes, I will."
Be happy to.
That's right. I would be happy to buy some local hops from you, and try to help support you so you can continue to produce hops for us. And every year we take pretty much most of his hop crop that he has, and it's his week of working really hard. We get together, get the hops down, and he's even helped us brew the beer from time to time.
How neat. It's really good. Nice, fresh, almost harvesty hop flavor with that nice malt backbone behind it. It's a really nice beer.
Gotta love fresh hop beers, and it's great using the local hops. It's awesome to see local ingredients spreading out. I mean, you get a lot of local concentration and focus from breweries, and I think you're starting to see. I mean, we were just at Deer Creek Malt House recently, a local maltster, and there's hop farms, just down the road, a couple miles away. It's pretty awesome to be able to get the ingredients to make awesome beer from
That's
your backyard.
great.
Yeah,
It's a lot of fun, and it just adds a little more of a local flavor to everything that we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the Ruddy Pumpkin is really good. And I think since it's September, I think drinking pumpkin beers is now acceptable.
It's okay. It's okay.
I've waited till September to try anything pumpkin. So.
I'm curious to ask Adam the brewer, what is your opinion on pumpkin beers? They could be pretty divisive.
Yeah, I like making them. They're hard to brew sometimes because they make the mash pretty sticky.
Yeah.
And ours is a little bit more complicated because we use a lot of rye in the recipe.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rye pumpkin beer. And I feel a lot of pumpkin beers are over the top spice.
Yep.
And
I
ours
agree.
is really subtle. And you taste some of the rye in there. You taste some cinnamon and nutmeg. And
But you still taste the beer.
Yes, it still tastes like beer.
Yeah, I hate pumpkin beers that are just kind of pow in your face.
Like liquid pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Which,
still
I mean,
want to be
if
drinking a
it's-
beer. Yeah.
If it's done right, liquid pumpkin pie can be all right, but most of them are not. Like they want to hit you with the pumpkin as hard as they can, and it doesn't balance out.
Although I will
This
say,
is great.
to each their own, because there is
Yeah,
a lot of
some
pumpkin
people
beer
love
hate
that.
out there, and there's a lot of pumpkin beer fanatics out there, and that's fine, whatever side of the fence you're on.
Yeah. Did you get to try the pumpkin one? Here you are.
I think the interesting thing about the pumpkin beers is sometimes you don't. A lot of the pumpkin flavor itself, if you taste plain pumpkin, it's gone. It's fermented out.
Yeah.
So what you end up with is a very heavy-handed spice flavor from some of the breweries, and we tried going with a more subtle approach, so you could taste everything in the recipe rather than just cardamom and cinnamon
Right.
and
Nutmeg
nutmeg
and all-
and
yeah,
allspice.
Yeah, one of our other techniques is to we roast the pumpkin to give it a more of a caramelized flavor. We caramelize some of the sugars in there, and I think it really adds a little roundness to the beer and gives you a little more pumpkin flavor because pumpkin doesn't have a lot of flavor itself, truly.
Right.
So it pulls some of that pumpkin flavor out in a more caramelly type fashion for us.
And then rounding up the appropriate beers for fall, we have the Fest beer.
Yes.
Now, speaking of Fest beers, along with this event, you guys have the buffet again?
You
With
bet.
the
Oh my God.
Oktoberfest foods.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Bet.
Yeah.
So happy for that.
So if you've never been to this event, I mean, obviously the beer is a highlight, but the food is pretty awesome too.
Yeah, if you didn't learn anything from listening to this episode last year, the German food really complements all the beers that are here because it's just so good. I can't wait to have a plate.
You can't go wrong with
And
German food.
another awesome thing about this event, and I think we talked about this last year as well when we were here, is that it's indoors. And today it's a little rainy.
Didn't it rain last year too?
And I think it may have rained last year too. So it's awesome to be able to come to a indoor beer fest that's not super cramped. There's plenty of room
Oh, yeah, there
to
is.
walk around and experience all the beers and other non-beer type vendors and things that are here. So it's great for an end of summer because you've gone to all your beer fests where you've been outside sweating and, everybody's cramped together. So come to a
Smelly.
nice indoor end of summer, beginning of fall. One of my favorite beer fests to come to.
For sure.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Well, we love having you guys here.
We love being
it's
here.
awesome, and come back and get some of the schnitzel and some of the bratwurst.
Oh,
and
we
everything
plan on
else,
it.
as
will-
we head into Oktoberfest.
That
Yeah.
will definitely
Awesome.
happen.
Guys, thank you for coming up to the table. Adam, it was very nice meeting
thank you.
Welcome back to Appalachian.
Yeah, thank you.
And thanks, guys. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Prost.
Prost. Sorry. Prost. So now we've got stepping up to the table somebody I was very excited to meet and to try their beers today. We have Andrew, who is from Turkey Hill Brewing Company. Andrew, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourselves?
Doing great. Thanks for coming up to the table with us.
Absolutely.
I have to admit, the first time I ever saw Steph's Growler for Turkey Hill, I was like, since when did Turkey Hill start doing
When did the
beer?
ice cream people and the iced tea start brewing beer?
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm sure you get that all the
Absolutely.
time.
We go down to Lidditz Beer Fest at the end of September, and it's
Oh, no.
2,000 people and 1,999 all ask us when they when they start doing
They
that.
come up to you like, do you have any
Yeah.
iced tea?
No iced tea.
We've got something better.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. There's an array of beers that are in front of us, and I think I got 3 of the 4 names on my little notepad here, but just because I don't want to be wrong, What do we have with us?
We have our, what do we got first?
We're
The
starting-
Adler's Golden Ale.
Yeah.
First,
All
Belgian Golden.
Ooh, yeah. The fruitiness
Smells
is nice.
so good.
You get the a golden ale up front, and then that Belgian
Absolutely.
yeast kicks in.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
It's really
there it
nice.
is. Smells.
And then
Belgian-y. Wow.
next is our Penelope Pilsner, which is a German-style pils.
Appropriate
little
for the
more
event
bitter.
today.
Yeah, a little more bitter, a little more hops to it. Definitely can taste the hop bitterness at the end of it.
Yeah, but
You know,
that
nice
Pils,
dry finish.
that Pils malt,
Mm-hmm.
it's up there. Nice.
I really like this golden ale.
Yeah,
This
that
is
was really good. Yeah, the
Very
Pils
good.
is really crisp and fresh.
I'm
like that.
I'm really
real
excited
crisp.
for the last one. Now you did say it might be a bit of a palate
It
wrecker,
is going to wreck the
but
palate. Yes.
I'm really excited.
There's a
about it.
lot of taste going on in the last one.
I'm excited
And
for that.
then third, we have our cask conditioned Journeyman IPA.
Nice.
And we have French oak spirals in it, and then we fresh hopped it with Cascade hops.
It's really you get the hoppiness right out of the aroma,
Yep.
which I love. And then I like the cask condition part of it because that helps like smooth it out a little bit more, and it's got a clean finish to
Yep.
it then too.
And then
Ooh, that's good.
last and certainly not
Here
least
we
is
go.
I don't know if I'll be passing this down.
No, that one's stopping over. Actually, they've all stopped over here.
Gonna make it, yeah. Is it's our farmhouse Kolsch, and
Oh,
it's
that
part
looks
of it's our first barrel aged series beer that we released. It's 20 months aged in French oak barrels, and we have two different strains of Brett in it, Brett Brooks and Brett Troy in it, and it is.
Two strains of Brett are always better than one.
Yes,
That's
absolutely. It's always good to have more.
Your head brewer, Donnie, seems to have this magical touch when it comes to these unique sour brews. Whenever we visit Turkey Hill,
Yep.
I'm always looking for those crazy beers on the menu, and he's just so good at just taming them.
Yeah, he's become rather obsessed with the sour and wild beers.
Oh, wow.
Rightfully
and
so.
producing,
I just tasted it.
So we do the barrel aged ones, and then we do a couple of quick hitting sours that are 2.5%. I
Right.
think those are, you guys really like those as well. We're just kind of getting into them, trying some new things with them, trying some different fruits, and this is our first barrel aged that we've actually released. So the next one is going to be next month. We have a saison coming out.
Ooh.
And then some of these are in bottles actually, and we'll be releasing those after the new year too. So
Very awesome.
So are the bottles only going to be sold on site, or do you guys distribute?
we actually are finishing up our licensing as we speak. We're waiting for label approval for our bottles and for kegs and stuff. So probably in the next month or two we'll get the approval, and then starting in the new year we're going to start selling the bottles just in-house at first, and then slowly kind of circulating out very slowly.
And for anyone who's not familiar, you guys are out of Bloomsburg, right?
Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yep, right off of Interstate 80.
All right.
And you have an inn right
We do.
there.
We actually have the brewery. We have a fine dining restaurant and a 23-room inn, slash bed and breakfast. that,
And if you stay at the inn, you get priority seating.
you can do whatever you want, pretty much.
That's awesome.
Rich and I
you
stayed.
want to come over to the brew pub, before we're open at the inn, we'll take care
Oh,
of that.
good to know.
There you go, Steph.
Rich and I stayed for Valentine's Day this past February, and it was so awesome. We checked in, and then we called over to the brew pub and be like, "We want to come over for dinner," and they're like, "All right, come over in like 5 minutes. We'll have a table ready for you." We walked in past
perfect.
everyone else, got seated,
Yeah.
and
The other
we
people
just
don't like it,
we
but,
stayed there for hours. We
What do you
had
get for
such a
staying there?
blast.
Yeah, there's you did an article on our website
Yep.
about it, and the pictures. I've never been there, but it looks
It's gorgeous.
It's
awesome.
it's an old.
Yeah.
The property is. We're actually older than Turkey Hill Iced Tea. Is
Oh, which
property's-
Turkey
the
Hill came
property's an
first?
old,
You were
old
there-
farm. We were
you were
there
there
first.
first.
It dates back to the early 1800s.
Oh,
Wow.
The family.
Oh.
It's been in the family for years and years. The guy that owns it, Andrew Putin, is he's an Irely, which they own the original hill where we are. And
The
it's called
original
Turkey
hill.
Hill.
Was it was the
Yes.
Turkey Hill?
Right,
Okay.
And the actual the fine dining restaurant is in the original farmhouse. From the early 1800s. That's where it's originally from. And our brewery is built in exact specs to the original bank barn that was on the property.
Oh,
wow.
how neat.
Wow.
It's such a beautiful spot. And the beer is, I've gone on record saying that Turkey Hill is probably one of, if not
Thank
my
you,
favorite
thank you.
brewery in Pennsylvania. I truly love the beers, but the food stands up
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
The food is amazing. It's just,
Thank you.
it's a great place. Like if you want to go on a date night or go and hang out with your friends for just a couple of hours. Last time we sat upstairs, has such a good vibe. And
live music,
Tuesday
normal.
nights. Tuesday nights, Donnie
Meet the
is
brewer.
there, the brewer,
Yep.
the head
Oh,
brewer.
cool.
So you can meet him, chat with him, and usually
Be a
has
free
a special
pairing.
beer.
Yeah,
Free pairing.
We do whatever beer has come on, either within the last couple days or within the last week. That's the beer that we pair that day. And then I go out and just try to find, different. We have a farmer's market in our parking lot during the summertime, local farmer guys. So I go out, get some fruits, veggies, and go down and get some cheeses and just try to find a little pairing for it.
Nice.
So
It's cool. Yeah, we just kind of hang out, and Donnie loves talking beer and drinking beer, so
I would hope so as a
he
brewer.
invites other people to do it with him.
Nice.
So cool.
Very
And
cool.
I have to say, if before I liked beers that had Brett and sour beers, if I would have had that Kolsch, that would have been the one to put me over the top with.
Yeah.
Like that would have got me
Really
into
good.
it. Like you get the Brett right up in the aroma, but it's a little more subdued in the taste,
Yep.
which would have done me wonders instead of whatever the first one
The
we had.
first
on the
sour
show.
beer we ever
Smacks you
gave
in the
Dan,
face.
yeah, he was not happy the first time.
No, some of them are a little tart. Yeah.
It takes some getting used to. What I like
Absolutely.
about it is you get in this one, you get the tartness, but like you said, it finishes up with a little more of I almost struggle to describe, not like a biscuity or earthy,
Yeah.
more of a, you know what I mean, like not the jowly, like
Nope.
that. You start to get
Yeah,
that.
it does.
but
You
then
don't get
fades.
it don't get it in the cheekbone.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
it moves down past.
There's
that.
just enough restraint.
Yeah,
and I think that's
we
what makes
struggle
his
to
beers
describe
good.
that taste as well. When someone that's what we get to the sour, and then it's like, well,
it's kinda-
what is that afterwards? We're not sure.
It's
we'll leave it up to the
wonderfulness.
people.
Something
good.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
just good. That's
It's very
That's the way to put
Drink
it.
it. It's good. I love it.
So now I know you guys. You weren't here last year
Nope.
when we were here.
This is
for
our
the-
first year.
This is your first year
Yay.
here at
First
the
year
Beer
here.
Fest. Awesome. Well, I mean, definitely come back
Thank you.
every year
We
because
definitely
these
will.
are
Yeah.
fantastic. I haven't had many Turkey Hill beers.
Yeah, neither have
to
I.
be honest, but these have all been really good,
Yep.
and this farmhouse is just
We brew probably
Incredible.
about 40. I think we just brewed our 46 different style.
wow.
So we do a couple. Some of them won't ever come back, but we brewed. Probably I think it's 46 we've done so far now.
Wow.
Little, Every some of them a little different. Some of them just show up once a year. Some of them showed up once and won't show up again. But
Right.
What's the fan favorite? What does everybody want when they're there?
everybody go the ones that we have on regularly. I mean, like you guys said, right now the sour beers are really picking up.
Yeah.
Everyone asks, everywhere we go now, people ask them if we have a sour beer. People come in for the pale ale, cask IPA. Flagship ones are Barn Dance Blonde, our normal Kolsch. But usually pale ale, IPAs, and Belgian beers. Donnie is obsessed with Belgian beers and finding the right yeast combination to get the kind of the traditional Belgian taste through with it.
There was a coffee stout or porter
Yep,
that was
espresso stout
on.
that we do.
Yeah, that's
That's coming back next month.
That's
actually.
perfect dessert beer.
Yeah, we get that
It's so
from
good.
a local coffee shop in Bloomsburg. Brews all the espresso for us, and then we take it and make magic.
Make magic.
Okay,
Take it.
we need to do a Beer Busters field trip.
Yeah,
We are
definitely.
going there.
Absolutely.
We need to record on site, and then we'll
Absolutely.
stay at the inn for the night.
And then we get
Sounds-
priority seating at the restaurant
That's
too.
right.
You get priority whatever if you guys want to come up and do that.
Yes.
I think.
That would be
hey,
awesome.
Absolutely.
we're holding you to
Yeah,
that.
I'm
It's
good with
recorded.
that.
Oh, there's a pinky
Oh,
swear.
we had a pinky
There's
swear.
We're on it,
just
so we're
happened.
good now.
I love
man.
it. I love it.
Looking forward
Oh
to that.
my God.
Christmas?
Yeah,
Maybe around there. Yeah.
I am booking December.
We'll have Christmas. We have our barley wine will be out. Our first
perfect time to stay
our
at a hotel.
Russian. We have a Russian Imperial Stout.
Again, staying
Wow.
at a hotel.
aged in Jack Daniel's barrels
Oh.
for almost just shy of 2 years. It'll be.
Oh,
And then the barley wine, we kind of do like kind of the vertical series of barley wines. Last year was 1, this is 2, and then it'll just keep going
Nice.
up to. I think we're set for 5 years is what it is.
Jeez.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
I can't wait.
This has to
Yeah.
happen.
I'm thinking Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas
All
definitely.
right. Well, we'll do it. We'll do
It'll be a
it.
Christmas episode.
Oh my God. Well, Andrew, it was a pleasure meeting you. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
coming up to
guys.
the
Yes.
table.
Pleasure having me.
Keep up the good work. I will probably be to your stand for another few beers.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah,
Awesome,
I
man.
can imagine the Belgian beer will go well with the German food that's downstairs that I can't wait to try either. I'm going
Absolutely.
to shut up about the food now.
I
But
think he's
Andrew,
hungry.
thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you,
up
guys.
here. Prost.
Prost.
Pros.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Now we have stepping up to the table. We've 2 people with us that we're very excited to have. We have Erica from Voodoo. Erica, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for coming up to the table with us. We also have Jeremy from Blue Canoe. Jeremy, how are you?
Fabulous.
Good. I'm glad to hear. Thank you guys for coming up here with us.
Representing Northwest PA.
Yeah.
No problem.
So we had, I know we had somebody from Blue Canoe last year. You guys had the brisket beer that was here, which floored me, I have to say. Totally floored me. I was caught off guard, and I loved it so much, and I went back and got more. I was very, very,
very
happy with
Steph,
that beer.
You drank that, right?
I actually
This is
did.
a big deal. Steph's a vegan.
Steph's vegan.
Sometimes vegetarian. But,
Oh, I remember that actually.
and we got her to drink the brisket beer.
Yeah, it was a smoked brisket stout.
Yep,
Yeah.
that was really
a
good.
triumphant moment for us.
It was like an extra level of smokiness. I loved it. It was so good. And now, of course, we have Voodoo that we have to talk about as well. So Voodoo, we had as one of our very first episodes. We tried Voodoo on the show.
Yes.
And way back when in the early
it was
days.
June 4th, 2013.
Steph has the exact date.
Thank
so
you, Untapped.
That was that was like our second month of operation.
This is a big deal.
Yeah. But
I was at Voodoo and I met Mateo.
Okay.
And he sent me home with a bottle of the Grand Met aged in the apple brandy barrels.
Yes. Okay.
So I saved it and we had it on the show.
And we're blown away.
We created a special level of review status called our top shelf.
Right.
And that was our first top shelf beer. We were just blown away by how delicious
my
it
husband
was.
and I watched that.
It was great, and I could not believe what I was drinking.
I still have the bottle in the Beer Buster's basement.
There it is.
The empty bottle, of
Well,
course.
yeah.
Nice.
It was so
But-
good. Yeah, it inspired that new segment, that new article thing on our website or whatever you want to call it. That new category of articles. So yes, that's how we first introduced Voodoo to our listeners.
And I'll be honest, I don't think I've had any other Voodoo beers, so I'm excited that
Well-
you guys are here. So what do we have on the table right now?
That's our Winona's Big Brown Ale.
Known as Big Brown Ale. All right.
I very much
I
like
love
the
the ooh. What is that I'm getting in
It's so nutty.
It's like I almost get like a coffee.
It is.
Aroma out of
Yeah,
it.
you can
All
get
right.
that.
I just want to put an audio stamp right now that you need to isolate Steph saying it's so nutty and make it sound good.
It is. I love my brown ales when they're nutty.
You know, and I love that brown. Everybody, I always tell people, even if they don't like a brown ale, they're going to love that.
Oh, yeah.
It's smooth. It's not heavy.
Oh yeah.
It's
What's
so drinkable.
what's the ABV on it?
I believe that's 7.5.
Something like that.
7.3 according to Untapped.
Oh, good. See?
And Matt actually made that beer for me because I like brown ales so much. And when we originally tried to get Voodoo going, Matt didn't like brown ales, but I liked them, so he ended up making it for me.
I guess.
Yeah, Jeremy, do you want to share with our listeners your relationship with Matt and talk a little bit about the connection there with Voodoo?
Yeah, I mean, it goes way back. You know, I knew him, and we used to party together in high school. And he actually was in track with my brother. He was a little older than me, and then we started Four Sons Brewery, which is now Blue Canoe, together. He was the brewer, I was the chef, so we worked together then. And then we both left there, and then I helped him get Voodoo off and running.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you're what, you said 30 miles away from each other?
We actually live in the same town.
But the breweries are 30
The
miles
breweries are
apart.
30 miles apart.
You guys
and
live together.
we all live in Corey.
Right.
So.
Very cool. And tragically, Blue Canoe recently had a fire.
Yep. St. Patrick's Day. It started, I was actually on vacation in Tybee Island in Savannah. But it started next door in an apartment that wasn't supposed to be there. Some kid set the fire. Well, they put it out, supposedly, and then it rekindled the next day, and then caught the roof on fire and burned the whole fourth floor. And then we mainly had smoke and water damage. They put 2.5 million gallons of water in the building.
Oh my gosh.
So like flipped over in 20-barrel tanks, and it's amazing. I never realized how much water, I mean, it's just crazy how much damage it does. So I actually got to be part of the whole demolition part of the first floor, second floor. It's been pretty interesting, and I've learned a lot.
So where are you at now? Do you have a reopening goal?
August 1st, but that already passed. So,
Aw.
yeah.
I had to think about that for a second.
Yeah. But we did have our beer festival. We were trying to get open for a beer festival, but that obviously didn't happen. But we had our beer festival, and it was a great success. But they're framing right now. We got everything framed pretty much, and putting electric in, and it's slow moving. It's I don't know. It's just hard to explain. But probably after next Tuesday, I got an inspector coming in, and then it's gonna start moving faster after that. So we should be up and brewing in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We just have to fix our boiler, and then install the kitchen back to the way it was, and new floors, and a lot of things. But it's been an interesting process.
Now, will the spot still look the same as it did before,
Similar.
or did you
Similar.
make
We had
some
to tear the
changes?
floor out, and there's going to be definitely some changes. There's going to be a little bit more seating in the dining room, and the kitchen's going to be a little more open, but pretty much same structure, same spot. Yeah.
So the first beer you're going to brew will be a Rauch beer, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
I kind of feel like you have to.
Be the Rising Phoenix.
Rising Phoenix Rauch beer.
That's good.
I love
Very
it.
good.
I
That's
love
very
it.
good.
So speaking of beer, we have one more beer on the
There's another
table.
beer. What
And
is
this
it?
is
And that's the Grand Met.
the Grand Met. Now, not the apple brandy
No,
barrel
it's
aged Grand
just
Met,
the Grand
but
Met.
still Grand Met.
It's the base triple. And you age this beer in other things besides apple brandy barrels, correct?
They do. Yeah, they have done. I think they've done a couple of bourbon barrels.
Tequila, I think they did.
They just did a tequila.
Oh.
It's so good.
I love the aroma of Belgian.
That bubble
that
gum.
has from the beginning. That has always been my favorite beer. The Grand Met has stayed consistently my favorite.
It's so dangerous, though.
It is.
What
it
is
really
the-
is.
what
I think it's like 9.5%.
That's
Yeah,
9.5.
Holy crap.
It
You
doesn't
have
drink
to
like
share. That's a beer that you share.
It doesn't drink like
No, it
yeah.
doesn't. That's
The
why
o-
it's dangerous.
I think the only clue is it's very Belgian-y in its character,
Right. Yeah.
obviously, and I always like, okay, it's probably up there.
Right, right.
I don't feel it, yeah.
Oh,
It's
that's
so good.
I got a brown.
He's got his brown. He's fine.
I figured that's what you had. That's why I didn't offer you this one.
The brown
Yeah,
ale.
that is dangerous. I'm
It'll
going
be,
to keep
it'll be
drinking.
whiskey in the second session, but
Yeah.
There you go.
And you were drinking a Bloody Mary earlier,
oh
right?
yeah, yeah.
We need
Yeah,
to
we'd like
take
to
a few
start
tips
with
from this
that.
guy.
Yeah, Stuff made us a good Bloody Mary this morning, so
It's a good way
They
to
were
start a
good.
beer fest.
yeah,
Definitely.
we're pretty much at our beer fest. We make them with like blackened shrimp, and one year we did blackened shrimp and wild boar sausage on skewers in them.
Oh yes, it's fantastic.
Dan, that sounds right up your alley.
Well, I'll be there next year.
Dan is perking up.
Road trip? Are we going to
It's
Erie?
It's
You
a pretty
should.
fun
It's
festival.
a great festival.
That would
It
be
is
awesome.
one of my
It's a
favorites.
long trip for us, but it'd be worth it.
Yeah, we could do a long weekend and just hit all of them.
could.
Oh, yeah.
Could record at Voodoo, record at Blue Canoe, go to Lavery. We can just like go
Yeah.
down the
Could hit all of
list.
them.
We're going to claim this
Yeah.
entire state. Beer Busters own Pennsylvania.
So
It's gonna happen.
if we did that in a weekend, we wouldn't have to record another episode for like 3 months.
Right.
We'd
Yeah,
have
that's
so
true.
many.
See, look at you. Could take
Oh,
summer
I could
off.
take my
Stockpile
time
them.
with editing. Oh my god.
Stockpile the, or edit them all and then take a
I
month
just-
off.
Yeah, I'm good. That's when I'll go to San Diego.
There you go.
There you
Yep,
go.
our festival's always the second weekend in August, so
Oh,
come on up.
and I'm
Always.
off then, so perfect.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Good to know.
All right. Second week of August.
2016.
I'm writing it
And
down.
We're going to Turkey Hill this Christmas.
Drake's Folly Beer Festival, so it's called.
What is it, Drake's?
Drake's Folly.
Drake's Folly.
Colonel Drake.
Yeah, you know why it's called Drake's,
well.
right? The well?
Colonel Drake's.
The oil well?
Drake's Well.
Drake's Well. I
The
don't know what
first
that
place
The
that
first
they
place
drilled
they
for oil?
Struck oil.
is. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well then.
I don't.
What's in Titusville?
Yep. I was
Oh,
there.
yes.
I even have a little
Yes,
bottle
okay,
of oil from
okay.
there.
Now it's sounding familiar. Yes. Okay.
Because I feel like you go there, you have to buy a
You
little
have
bottle
to.
Right
of
on
oil.
Oil Creek.
You're right.
Right
You
there.
have to.
That's right.
How much do they charge you for the little bottle of oil?
Not much.
All right. What's the going price of crude now? No.
Texas tea.
Yes.
Texas tea.
Well, sounds like we have a plan for next August then. It's
Yeah.
good to book almost a year ahead of time.
That's true.
All right. We are set. We are set. Well, guys, thank you for coming up to the table with us.
No
Thank
problem.
you. My pleasure.
So great meeting the both of you. And best of luck with everything with Blue
Yes.
Canoe.
Thank
That's-
you.
It's a long road to recovery, but I'm sure it's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be worth it.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be brewing soon, that's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And we'll let our listeners know. Follow our Facebook page. We'll reshare what's going on so you guys know when they're up and running also.
Awesome.
Awesome. Cool, guys. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Prost.
Prost.
So now we have joining the table somebody who's going to give us a little preview of episodes to come. Episode to come? Hey, whatever.
And episode 2 come.
An episode that will be released later on, / recorded later on, then released after that. We have, joining us from Zero Day, we have Brenda Lynn. How are you?
I am great. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great. Thank you for coming up to the table with us.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be out of the house.
It becomes your home away from home.
It is.
Yeah. So we're recording with you in October, and I think the episode will still be released in October as well.
Sweet.
But,
yeah, so come out to Zero Day on October 9th and hang out with us.
Yes, exactly.
absolutely.
That is a Be in the Audience event that will be all over our...
For sure.
Yeah. But it's a cool little space you have there. We were there. I was there after I believe, Little Big Beer Fest.
That was a long day.
It was,
That was a
long day with a lot of drinking, but I'm glad we ended there because that was a very good note to end on.
That was fun for me to watch.
I can only imagine. Oh, God. And, of course, we
that
had Bart leading us around that day, which was a different story in and of
Steph and I
itself.
chased Mike from Free Will.
Mike Weiser.
Mike Weiser, we chased him down there when we were doing some filming, and he was like, we were got to go to Zero Day and talk to Theo, who is your partner there, and you were like, oh, well, Mike Weiser's there too, 2 birds with 1 stone. We're like, oh, stay there, we're going to come out and interview you quick. So those are the 2 times I was at Zero Day.
The awesome thing about our space is I get an eclectic mix of industry people, whether it be chefs or other brewers, or we kind of have this hodgepodge of food and beer and booze. It's great.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty cool.
And Sundays, you always have seafood Sundays.
Seafood Sundays,
which I think was going on when we were there that day.
We have jalapeno crab mac and cheese sometimes.
I'm sorry,
do
what?
Jalapeno.
Just throw bacon in there and you have me.
Jalapeno crab mac and cheese.
Nice.
So we do all kinds of different seafood dishes on Sundays. We started Firkin Fridays, so 2 Fridays a month we're going to be tapping Firkins.
Ooh.
We just did the critical condition Imperial Amber on
nice.
rum-soaked oak chips yesterday.
Oh, my God.
It was pretty BA. Pretty BA.
Pretty BA. Oh, jeez. Wow.
Nice.
So ladies are
You're
hogging
welcome.
hogging the beers over there. What are we drinking?
Yeah. That's a good. So what do we have?
I think this is the IPA.
Okay, so we have something that might
So
be an
I
IPA.
tried to give him the sample so he didn't mix them up. I am not responsible for how they were received at the table.
I think I heard the
enough.
words mango habanero thrown around earlier.
Mango habanero pale ale. So speaking of Mike Weiser, back before we went legit, we would homebrew this for late summer beer festival parties that we would have. And he would give us the habaneros. So it's grown at Weiser Farms, Weiser Orchards. So we got all of the habaneros, with the exception of a couple handfuls that came from my beer tender Beau's garden, which is
Nice.
pretty awesome.
Nice.
And we processed 150 fresh mangoes by hand.
Wow.
I don't even want to talk about that because
Fair enough.
it was squishy and slippery and sticky, and it wasn't what you would think it would be. It was not fun.
More sound bites.
So and you probably
sticky.
that was Tierney.
That was Tierney. That's like it's a double whammy of why I had to hit that button.
Oh, Tierney has a button. That's great.
Tierney has a button.
I feel like that's a tweet. At Tierney, you have a button.
Tierney has a button.
The mango habanero, my tolerance for heat is extremely high.
Yeah.
That's
the
why,
least.
but it has a nice warmth
It
at
does,
the end.
yeah.
It's nice.
We
And
wanted
it's-
it to be balanced.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Instead of
it's not overpowering.
Instead of what Sarah and I would want.
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
Normally, crazy
You-
people like you would
Yeah.
want that.
Yeah.
You should come out for that Firkin. It's mango hab on toasted coconut with a ghost chili.
Oh,
Yo!
come on.
That
Girlfriend.
sounds pretty good.
That Firkin.
And that Firkin's going to be on October 9th, right?
Maybe I'll make stuff a special Beer Busters Firkin of that.
Yes.
Yes.
We got our own
yes.
Firkin.
It is
Win.
everyone's goal to create a spicy beer that Steph cannot drink. I don't think it's possible.
You should
It's not
have a
hard to-
spice off with Theo because
Yeah.
his tolerance, he'll be sweating, he'll be red. This is great.
I don't know.
Like, you look like you're in pain.
Let's
like-
do it.
Blood trickling out of his eyes.
Spellbound has probably come the closest.
Yeah.
Well,
They
that
will
we all
shove
shit.
ghost peppers, ghost chilies. I was trying to say peppers and chilies
Chilies,
at the
yeah.
same time. Ghost peppers, scorpion peppers. They'll shove. They actually brought a mini. It wasn't even a sixtel. It was like a half sixtel, and they drew skull and crossbones on it.
Did we deem that
Did you
a
have to
12th
sign
stool?
a waiver?
A 12.
No.
Isn't that
No,
what we
would
deemed
it be
a 12th stool?
a 3? I don't know.
No, because if
A
you're
12th
Oh
stool.
yeah, a 6th,
And
a
then a
12th.
12th.
Yeah,
A
12th
12th
stool.
stool. 12th stool.
A 12th stool.
Yes.
I don't know, but it was really good.
And what was it called?
I think we called it all shit.
Oh shit. That's
We
what it's
named
called.
it.
Which,
Yeah.
to be fair, it wasn't as hot as I thought it was going to be, and there were a lot of other flavors to balance it out. So that's my
great.
thing. I can take the heat if it's not the only thing I taste.
There you go. I feel like that's a challenge.
I'm pretty happy with how balanced it came out. We didn't want it
Yeah.
to be hateful, and it
Yeah,
wasn't.
I appreciate
We can
that.
make it more hateful.
Please don't.
You could if you want to. But
You
no.
can make a
Do you-
12th stool of hatefulness.
Like, if you make it more hateful, are you, like, angrily throwing the peppers in there? Like,
Yeah,
you, fuck
but-
you, fuck you.
We really just want you to take it on a second date.
All right, fair enough.
That could be the name of this episode.
Take it on a second
Take
date.
it on a second date.
That's true. It is our second
It is our
time.
second time at this event.
So that would be appropriate.
I love it. So the other one is your IPA episode 4.
Yes. We
So it's
changed
the
it.
4th time you brewed the IPA, and each time it's different.
Correct. So this particular one is a little bit more juicy, a little bit more West Coast. I think our normal comfort level with our IPAs is a little bit more malt forward, like a maltier, like darker IPA. But we just decided we were going to go for something juicy. So this is our East Coast interpretation on a West Coast style.
Nice.
And I'm really happy. I mean, Untapped is telling me it's doing pretty well.
Oh,
I
you
always
you
monitor
shouldn't
all
look
that.
there. You shouldn't do that.
You know,
Don't
actually,
do that.
I look for trends. You can't let it eat you up.
You do have to
can't
look
let
for
it
trends,
get
fair
to you.
enough.
But
thought you
trends are
said-
important.
I
It's
thought you
just
said you looked
data
for twins.
collection.
Data collection.
What?
I
Data
make
collection.
charts and graphs in my spare time.
There you go.
I don't have spare time, thus
No.
I don't make charts
You don't
and
make charts
graphs.
and
You know,
But if you did,
I was worried.
You would
I
make
was
charts
really
and
worried
graphs.
for a second.
Untapped will do that for you too.
Yes, they do actually.
If you pay
the
them.
analytics are pretty good with
Yeah.
them.
oh
They're
really?
pretty awesome.
But you know,
Yeah.
you got to take it with a grain of salt. Different
You do,
strokes
yeah.
for different folks.
Some
You know,
people are
not
just
everyone's
gonna-
stroking the same
Some people
way.
are just going to say nope. And
Some
bitches-
people
bitches
just
probably
like
love
to
it.
Bitches probably love it. Bitches probably love it.
Some people just like to be negative too.
They do, yeah. Some people
Yeah.
are really snobby.
all
It's a
right.
very good IPA, though. So this is the 4th iteration.
Yes.
You changed the hops. You changed the malt bill. How
Yeah,
does it
we changed the
evolve?
malt bill. We lightened it up a little bit. We didn't use as, like dark of a roast of the malt
Okay.
that we had previously used in
Right.
the other ones. And mainly the hopping. The hopping changes more so than the malt bill in most cases.
Right.
But we can really do whatever we want to do, and that's kind of what we focus on. I mean, until
Yeah.
I'm getting orders on this that we're distributing all over the place where I need to have that consistency. Right now we're having some fun with it, and really focusing on testing some stuff out. Just seeing how it fits.
See how it goes. Yeah,
See
it's a
what
fairly
people
young brewery. You guys, when did you guys open?
April.
It just
April
is kind-
8th we
wow.
opened.
With
Yeah.
stormtroopers.
Yes, we
Yeah,
had
with
stormtroopers.
stormtroopers. Yes.
What?
Episode 4, come on. We're Star Wars nerds.
Oh my god!
That's funny.
I wish I was there.
There were stormtroopers at the opening.
How big is your system there?
It is a 7-barrel system.
7-barrel system. Okay.
So, we
So-
actually opened, we were intending to open with a 3-barrel system, and we sold all that shit before we even. we were like, oh, wow, no, we need a bigger boat.
Yeah.
So, I've actually already ordered some more equipment, and I think we're looking at kind of ramping things up a lot quicker than we anticipated, which is a great problem to have because we'd love to see it on tap like all the places.
Yeah.
And I'd love to be able to say yes to the people that want us, but
You got to have the capacity. Yeah.
I got to have the capacity,
Yeah,
and we're
yeah.
people in Harrisburg are thirsty.
Yeah, they are.
Look at this
Well,
crowd
you
here.
have you have Bart living like a block from you,
I
so
know.
there
yeah,
you go.
that's
I
half
mean,
your beer right there.
That's a
but-
barrel a
that's
week.
yeah,
right?
that's a barrel right there.
Barrel a week Bart. That's what I'm calling him from now on.
Barrel Bart.
Barrel a
he
week Bart.
also designed all of our branding.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he's a really good
Yeah.
designer. Yeah.
And I picked up our last batch of T-shirts at Zero Day.
Ah,
Oh, yeah.
that's a
Bart
good
and I
meeting
met
place.
at Zero Day, and I picked up our shirts there.
Which, by the way, I have to give Bart another plug. He has a new shirt that's like the Captain America logo with a
That's a
hop in
pretty
the
cool
middle.
shirt, yeah.
I need
I haven't
that
seen
shirt.
this one.
He's
I
got
always
pictures
saw it on
yeah.
Facebook. Yeah,
I'm
Pretty cool.
surprised like someone is not here. I know he's in Florida right now, but I thought he'd send someone with his swag here.
Yeah. What gives?
I kind of figured we'd all buy Captain Hop America shirts.
I was calling it Hopped in America.
There
Hopped
is
in
another
America?
shirt vendor here. Maybe they didn't want to have dueling shirt vendors.
Maybe.
They're not as cool.
Oh.
Just some
But I
bad blood.
would have paid for jousting. I would have paid for jousting.
That would make a good video.
Is that a
Jousting in
euphemism, or are we?
Oh,
It could be.
wow.
Oh my.
Oh my! This is setting up for you coming to us and
Oh, yeah.
doing this.
Yeah.
It's just going to get that much more weird.
Oh yeah.
October 9th
It's
is going to
crazy.
be awesome.
I
Yeah,
also
we're-
feel like I'm yelling.
We're a little.
Well, there's a large
You're
crowd.
projecting, and
Projecting.
our producer appreciates that.
Yes, yes.
Yes, you make it easier.
Yeah,
to
this
edit.
this
Thank
is
you.
us being professional because we're at an event. When we're
Sweet.
at your brewery, it's all bets are off.
No, yeah. I heard you met with the Deer Creek guys.
They
Oh,
were
that was
cool.
awesome.
That was a lot of
Oh,
fun.
that was one of our favorite
They
They are
episodes
said
ever.
so fabulous.
They
was
had
really
so many beers.
10 growlers
10
and 4 bottles we went
growlers
through.
of beer.
Is that what we drank?
We didn't drink it all, to be fair.
Wayne,
There
when
was-
we left, Wayne said, "You know, it was a good episode when you wish you could record here every week."
I love
that's
that
what you have to
place.
compete
That was
with.
really awesome.
I love that place. I think I will throw down that challenge, man. I will show them up.
Keep in
Oh,
mind, one
I
of us
love
lives in
this.
Philly. Just keep that in mind.
There's hotels in Harrisburg.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to tweet at them. I know Mark does like their social media. Just bug Mark and Josh and be like, guess what? I'm gonna top you.
Do
bitches."
it. We love it. We
You
love
should
these challenges.
Hashtag purer sizzle.
I'm gonna top you.
sizzle.
More sizzler.
Jousting. Take
More
it on a
sizzle.
second date. I'm noticing a trend here.
Oh my.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey.
Hey,
Now.
Now.
Meow.
Ben? Meow. Okay.
Meow.
Fair enough.
On
Well,
that note,
to be continued.
Yes.
that's right.
It was great having you for your first official Beer Busters appearance.
Thank you.
Breaking
Stay
the
tuned.
cherry.
Yes.
Popping
It was
the cherry.
lackluster at best for me. No, I'm kidding.
I've had better.
The first time is.
I've had
No,
better.
this has been real fun. So thank you for having me. I'm gonna get back
Absolutely.
to my guy and pour some samples. And thanks so much.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you in a month.
Prost.
See you in a month.
So since Dan has wieners in his mouth right now, I'm going to intro and let you know that we are here with Joe again from Old Forge Brewing Company. How are you, Joe?
Good.
Good to see you.
Can't be better. We're at a beer fest.
Love the hat.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
That's right. So let's jump in right with the beers here. The first one we have is, I guess we should start with the brown. You want to tell us a little bit about this one?
Yeah, we're doing the Falling Down Brown for our fall seasonal. It's a little different than the Oktoberfest and the pumpkin beers that are on the market. We feel this fills a little niche for our 6-packs or 4-packs that we're going to here shortly.
Oh, nice.
To allow us to put the 8-packs together. So it has a little bit of hops, but it sounds or tastes like a good brown ale.
There's a little like tropical punch in the
A little
middle
bit.
there.
Yeah.
It's surprising, but really nice.
And I just ate a cookie of some description, and
Of some description.
this cleans it up very nicely.
That might be the caramel that you taste
Yeah,
in there.
That was going to be my comment about it.
Oh,
was that it paired,
sorry about that.
No, not necessarily the caramel itself. What Wayne said.
That it paired with the.
It paired with the food.
There
I'm
we go.
I'm
You
back
just
now.
had-
I'm done eating.
Yeah,
Thank
Dan
you.
is done
Thank you
eating.
for doing the intro for me, Steph.
You're welcome.
I had a reasonable amount of food on my plate. Dan had a mountain of food, so it took him a little longer.
I was
He was
hungry.
Oh, this is really good though. I like a good brown ale. We had earlier. I'll have to look at my nose because I
Voodoo.
forget the name of it.
Winona.
Winona's big
sorry,
brown ale.
Winona.
Yeah.
Winona.
Very good brown ale. This is a very good brown ale as well. A good solid brown ale. It's a good fall beer, like you said. It's different from the pumpkins and all that you get out there. So it's nice to have something a little different. Yeah.
The pumpkins.
The pumpkins.
The pumpkins.
The pumpkins.
And then next we have with what is probably your most popular, the Overbite IPA.
The Overbite is our most popular. And very hoppy, 7.5 ABV. We do sell a lot of that.
And it's also in cans.
It is in cans.
And I approve any beer that is sold in a can. In a can.
There it is.
Because I love beers in cans.
Mm-hmm.
It's really tasty.
That is really good.
So what is new with Old Forge? What's been going on since
Well,
we saw you a year ago?
there's always something new at Old Forge.
Always something new at Old Forge.
Yes. We've realigned our distributors this past year, and the Wilsbach family distributors have really taken over in the Harrisburg area for us. I think there's a lot of volunteers here today from Wilsbach. So that's one of our new aspects of our distribution. And we're looking forward to the 4-pack series that we're going to be putting out here in October. And then, hopefully in the spring, because of some of the new LCV rulings, we're going to open up a little shop in our brewery for adult beverages and giving tours of our brewery. We haven't done tours yet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that will be something new for us in the springtime. A little tap room be attached to it, and we'll have that open probably on the weekends along with the brew tours.
And the actual brewery is not far from the brew pub, correct?
Correct, within a few blocks, 4 or 5 blocks.
So you could walk.
Yep, if you didn't want to drive, you could walk. And you may not want to drive. So,
Very nice.
So that's the new happenings at Old Forge. We're moving along very well.
Nice.
That's exciting. I mean, it's great to. It's always nice to be able to invite people in, take a tour, have a tap room, stuff like that at the actual brewery and where the magic happens.
Yep.
So
Where
that's
the
pretty
magic
awesome.
happens.
Yep.
Yes, for sure.
The brew pub has put on some tap engines. So we now have 18 beers on tap.
Wow.
It's really grown in
Plenty
terms
to
of
choose
that.
from.
And I, if I remember correctly, I don't always remember correctly. So, you guys were going to add an outdoor space as well at the new taproom location, the brew pub location.
We haven't done that yet. We do have
soon.
out in the sidewalks, but we haven't opened our rooftop yet. Probably looking at the tap room, using that area, and then an outdoor area for that. So that's probably the way we're going to go with our resources.
Sounds like a
Awesome.
cool spot to hang out.
Yeah.
Drink some great beer.
It's always my after Knoebels stop.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. That's a good
Always.
yeah.
Love Knoebels. That's
true. Yeah.
the neighborhood, and a lot of people go up 54 up to their hunting cabins or Penn State and stop by.
Yeah.
So
Lots of great camping
On the
up
way
that
home.
way too.
Yeah,
so
there is.
good camping beers.
Or stop on your way and get a growler or a
and
couple
take a
4-packs
camping,
and take it
go
with.
camp overnight,
your
stop
way.
on the way back.
Or
if you're
stop
done
on the
with it
way
all.
to Knoebels and then ride the roller coasters. Maybe not such a good idea.
Or leave your kids at Knoebels and
There you go.
Old
There you
Forge,
go.
yeah, totally. Wow.
There you go.
oh, it's great.
Very
Cool.
nice.
Well, it's good to hear that you guys are doing well, and there's a lot of good stuff going on. That's great.
It is a very exciting area to be in. Microbrews yet. It's going to be evolving, I think, as the time goes on. A lot of new entries into the field, but
Yep.
I always say the Central Pennsylvania there. Come up, enjoy a night, stay, go to Selinsgrove Brew Pub, Danville, where we're located at, and then up to Bloomsburg. There's many places to see and spend the night.
For
Just-
sure. Yeah, Turkey
You don't
Hill.
have to drive home.
There you go.
There
you
you
can go to Old Forge, then go to Turkey Hill, stay overnight,
There you
Yeah.
go to Turkey Hill, and then go back to Old Forge.
And then go to Knoebels.
and then go to Knoebels.
Oh yeah, you got to
and-
get Knoebels in there
Knoebels
somewhere.
has to be in the mix.
Pick up your kids. Don't forget the
Don't
kids.
forget
Right.
the kids. Come back for the
Go
kids.
back for the kids there.
and Go to Old Forge again.
Yep.
See, we just planned your weekend for you. You are welcome.
There you go. There you go. Awesome.
Beer Busters Travel Agency. LLC.
Oh,
Well, if you are ever planning a trip anywhere and you're looking for breweries to hit up, Steph is definitely the person to talk to.
That's true.
She is very good at planning brewery trips.
That's right. And I usually write about every place I've been. I've written about Old Forge a couple times. So
Yes, you have.
There
if
you
you
go.
want to visit, go to our website and read my awesome articles.
There you are.
Absolutely.
And I will have to go back once the brewery is open and write about the new tap room and the tour.
Well,
Sure.
maybe we could record there.
Absolutely.
That'd be cool. We'll keep that in mind.
As long as we can go to Knoebels, too.
Right, we have to go to Knoebels.
Yep.
In fact, we'll take the beer on the roller coaster with some recording equipment, and then we'll do it all on the ride. We have to loop back a few times on the same roller coaster, but we'll do it then.
This is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Interesting, though.
Have some
All
water.
Have some
Well,
water. Gee,
enjoy
thanks.
the day, folks.
You
Thank
too.
you for having
It's good
us.
to catch up, Joe.
Thanks
All right.
for coming back up here.
See you later.
Cool.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Prost.
It's good to see you. Okay, well, in order to be fair, Dan is now letting me do an intro. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but we have Greg from Howling Henry's. That's howling as in, oh. I don't know. I didn't do it as well as you did before we started. But
There it is. There it is.
So where's your brewery located?
It's out of Hummelstown, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Hummelstown.
Yep,
Very
Hummelstown.
nice. And you've brought 3 delicious concoctions for us to taste today. We've got a wheat ale, which is Henry's wheat, and then an IPA, which is the Blacktail, and then the stout, which is Howling Oats.
Yes.
Which, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't.
Actually, it's the IPA is the Howling Oats.
Oh, the IPA is the Howling
Yes,
Oats.
and then the
I
stout.
apologize.
Right.
You messed up that whole thing.
I'm
You're
fired.
not doing any more
You're
intros.
I'm fired.
You're not fired. No, you're just not doing any more intros.
So we're passing around the wheat. It has a nice subtle sweetness that I wasn't expecting in there.
Yeah, I agree.
That's exactly what I was going for. Was the subtle sweetness. A lot of wheats seem to be dry. They seem to be very yeasty and not so much with hops. I tried to balance it out. Not that the yeast is a bad thing, but I was trying to get away from the yeast. Try to go with a little bit more of the sweetness, the maltiness in there. A little bit of hops to balance it out at the end.
Yeah, it definitely is. It is sweeter and maltier than I would have expected. It's very good. It's a good take on a wheat. It's nice to, because you also get a lot of the really like citrusy and like crisp type wheat beers, which are great. But since we're now getting into autumn, I think this is more of this feels more like a fall wheat beer.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Now I like that.
Fall wheat beer. Nice.
Feel free to use that in your marketing.
Oh, I may.
So next is the Blacktail Stout.
Blacktail Stout.
Ooh, a subtle smokiness I really like in there. Chocolatey, smoky.
Yeah, and the aroma had a little bit of the smokiness too, which is really cool. And it wasn't overpowering in it, which I really like.
So are these your recipes?
Absolutely, yes. Yes,
Now,
they are.
did you start as a home brewer? Did you?
Yeah,
What's your background?
Well, I home brewed for a good bit of time. I'd say about 2 years or so. And then the wife told me I made good beer, and she said, you should start a brewery. Well, that was 5 years
Wow, the
ago.
wife telling you to do
You know,
that?
and
That's-
exactly.
Some people would say, well, you can't really trust that opinion because it's your wife, but if she actually told you you should start a brewery, she must have been serious.
Exactly.
Because
So-
that's not something you encourage your husband to do
Yeah,
unless you
pretty
really
much.
think it's going to work.
Well, that's true. She wishes she never said that, but can't go back in time.
So, how long?
No take-backs.
No take-backs. How long has the brewery been up and running?
Since May.
Since May? Okay.
Since May, I was brewing since May. Able to brew since February. There's some backstory to that, but, you know.
Oh, backstory. Do you want to share?
Sure.
We like backstory.
Of course. Well, really, the backstory comes in as my space is not contiguous, so it's not all connected. So it's my space. The owner of the building has a bit of space, and then I have a cooler space.
Okay.
So that was a kind of a hang-up for the PLCB. Mm-hmm. Not a big issue. It just meant a little bit longer wait for me, but that's okay.
Right.
So that's pretty much the backstory.
Usually when it has to do with the PLCB, it means wait longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So one more, Howlin, HOWL''N, Howlin Oats.
Howlin'
Howlin' Oats.
Howlin' Oats.
So I assume there's oats in this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, it's fruity. What are some of the the hops that you used in here?
I use Perla, Cascade to dry hop, and then I use Nugget and Columbus.
Nice. It's very easy drinking. A bit on the sweeter side for an IPA, but nice tropical fruit
It is
notes.
surprisingly fruity. Yeah, it's very good.
I was actually trying to go to the balance with that as well, and have the hops at the end. So,
Right. Still have that bitter
instead
finish,
of being punched out with hops, which is it's great. That's fine. But how many beers or IPAs do you drink that are sweet at the beginning and then go hoppy, and then you get the bitterness at the end? And you're like, wow, yeah, that was an IPA. But wait a minute, what was I drinking before
that? Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the only thing that leaves the impression then. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It has like a nice melon character at the beginning, and then it comes in. The hops come in at the end. So are these your flagship beers? These here? Do you have other beers?
I have two other beers.
Okay.
I have a porter that I haven't made yet.
Okay.
As a pro brewer.
Right.
And then I also have a brown ale that will be coming out this Wednesday, coming up at my tap takeover at the Warwick Hotel.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Very
Awesome.
cool.
Cool.
Very cool. So can people visit your brewery, or are you a production-only brewery?
We're production only, but they could visit if they would get a hold of me through my website. Would be a great way to get a hold of me. I can't take a bunch of people around. One or two, up to like 5 maybe, because after that, then the owner gets a little scared. It's like, what are all these people doing here?
Yeah. So, and what is the website?
It's www.howlinghenrysbrewery.com.
Easy to remember.
Yep.
And I assume you're on the social medias and all that
Facebook.
sort of thing.
I should get.
Although I don't know, brewers can go one way or the other with that. Either they don't do it at all, or they're all over it.
I should do a proper Facebook for
Okay.
the brewery, but
Right.
it's under me, which is kind of under the brewery type.
Right.
So it's kind of a mix.
Right.
And then I'm also on Twitter as well.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very cool.
Well, I'm sure you have more important things to worry about starting a brewery than your Facebook page.
Well,
this is true.
There's a lot there. Absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Cool. And what size system are you brewing on there?
well, I have a 10-barrel brew house right now.
Right.
But I only do 7-barrel.
Okay.
And then I figure I can expand from there.
Right.
And then
Room to grow.
Exactly, room to grow. Because to go 7-barrel was one price, and for a couple $1,000s more, I can get a 10-barrel brew house. It's like, well, it kind
why
of
not?
makes sense,
Absolutely.
So,
Very cool.
yep.
Greg, it was awesome to meet you.
Yeah.
Well, it was nice to talk with you folks.
Awesome. Thanks for coming up
Thanks
to the
for coming
table.
on.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you. Thanks for bringing
For
us
sure.
delicious beers and sign the tablecloth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Prost.
Awesome.
Bros.
Cheers. So now that Steph and Wayne have done intros, I'm going to take over again. We have Rich.
That means we sucked.
Not necessarily. One of you was good. One of you could use. No, I'm kidding. You were both great. We have joining us at the table, we have Rick from Mexitali. How are you, Rick?
I'm very good, thanks.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming up here, and thank you for making sure that I said the name right, because I would have said Mex Italy, and I would have gotten very bad stares.
That's all right. It's been very confused throughout the years.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can absolutely imagine. So, for anybody who's not familiar with Mexitali, what are you guys?
I would call it it's been in business, the restaurant itself has been in business for over 10 years.
Okay.
More like 11, coming up on 11 years. But a year and a half ago, the restaurant had to move its location, so they wanted to add the beer element and a brew house into the successful restaurant. So it's the new restaurant, I'm new as in a year and a half ago.
Right.
It's probably 4 times the size of the original location. But the owner's a big beer fan, and he just wanted to add a brew house, so we installed a brand new Minnetonka 7-barrel brew house. So the original restaurant and the concept was a fusion of Mexican-Italian food. Brick oven pizzas, huge burritos, tacos.
Amazing burritos.
I love the sound of all of that.
So we came into an already established clientele, and just added the brew element, in a new location, and it's going over great.
I think they should. And I've been to Mexitali once with Steph and Rich. I think we were with good old John G.
Johnny G.
Cheers to you in Tennessee.
Johnny G. Cheers to you in Tennessee.
And there's a bar area as well, and I think the bar should be called The Beer Element, because I like that phrase. That's
a
good
great
name for the
idea.
bar. The Beer Element.
Yeah. And for people that have not been there yet, which you should go because the place is awesome, you walk in and there's a counter where you order your food. And then, of course, because it's Pennsylvania, there's a separate bar where you go to get the beer.
Yes.
Correct.
Good old Pennsylvania.
That's it. Yep. That's kind of how it operates.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because Pennsylvania.
But
the food, beer alone. We always talk about beer, but when a place has really good food, I like to emphasize that because the food is really good. Every time I go there, I get the roasted vegetable burrito, and it is amazing.
I think all the food's amazing, and I just, from the moment the owner hired me, I just wanted to be a huge compliment to that food.
Yeah.
That's been, like I said earlier, established for over 10 years.
For
so
sure.
I just wanted the beer to be on par with the excellent food.
So was that were you a little scared of that challenge at first because you're walking into
sure.
they've established as being a great place for food, and now you're like, you have to have the beer has to stand up.
Right, and I didn't want people to come in and say, "Oh, the food's excellent, the beer sucks."
Yeah.
Right. Then I'd be crawling
Oh,
out.
hang head, tears drop.
Tears.
So speaking of beer,
the
first one is a blood orange Hefeweizen.
Yes, blood orange Hefeweizen. I've done pretty much from the start. It was a beer that I had never done before in my previous employment, but it was something that I had in the back of my head that I really wanted to try. I just wanted to do it with real fruit. Didn't want to do any kind of extracts, and so I just like a good supportive Hefeweizen to begin with, and then we add real blood orange puree into the serving tank.
It comes through really well.
It does. It has a pronounced citrus character that because I would have kind of thought that the blood orange might actually get lost in there a little bit, but
so
it
did I.
definitely you taste it. It's definitely there. It
But
stands
you
up.
still get the bubble gum and the spice that you would expect from a Hefeweizen. It's
layers,
still there.
It layers very well, but all the
layers.
the flavors are still so distinct in and of themselves, which that is like my dream of a beer. Like you can, I don't have the best palate, and there's no even trying to say otherwise, but
unless it's bacon.
Unless it's bacon, then let's talk about that later.
Ultimate palate.
Yes, but that's the thing.
Palate.
I get the distinct flavors out of that beer, which I love that I can.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me feel like I know what I'm talking about now.
But it's still a good beer to
Hefe.
have with food too, because that's important when you're coming into a restaurant that is known for their food. You want to have a strong beer, you want to have a tasty beer, but it has to be. You have to be able to pair it with food because some beers.
And getting back to the restaurant concept again is that was our whole idea from the start, that as crafty as the beer world is right now, being a restaurant, we still wanted to have some very drinkable beers on our, we can have 8 beers on tap at a time. But we really, really wanted to make sure that we still had beers that go well with the food.
Right.
So even though a golden ale, in the craft beer world is kind of shrugged upon, not that exciting or anything, I still have a good recipe, I think, for one. We call it Golden Years, a golden ale, but it goes great with anything. So if people come in off the street and they, you don't want anything that's going to knock your palate out, and it doesn't have peanut butter in it, or something, to go with, peanut butter and burritos. That sounds great.
That does not. Yeah.
I don't know.
You
that
could do
kind
like
of
a
sounds
dessert
good.
burrito.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Peanut butter jelly banana bacon burrito.
Wow.
But anyway, the golden ale, again, and if I were to bottle this beer and put it in a bottle shop somewhere, it'd be a snooze fest. But in the restaurant, it sells really well, and it goes
really well
great.
with food, yeah.
with a burrito.
Now, do you would you craft your recipes? Do you obviously you want it to pair well with the food, but do you get involved with specifically saying, okay, well, I'm gonna build a beer that should go well with this dish or this series of dishes, or is it more about just drinkable, easily paired beer in general?
Pretty much drinkable beer in general.
Just a beer that you can order this dish and any one of these beers will wash it down nicely.
Right.
Yeah.
At this time, at some point, I'd probably like to work with the kitchen a little more, and come up with some good blending of flavors there.
We started passing around the IPA.
The Deep Sea Wheat
Deep
IPA?
C, uppercase C.
Very cool. And this is a wheat IPA?
It's a wheat IPA. The uppercase C, Deep C, is for the C hops that are used in it.
Of course.
Cluster, Centennial, Chinook, and Citra.
Nice. It's got an excellent hop aroma.
It does.
I like the aroma.
Oh,
yeah. It's really
it
nice.
invites you in for it.
Citrusy, slightly catty, if I might.
If you might, but there's none of your favorite
piss,
hop in
maybe?
it. Yeah, right.
No Simcoe, though, right?
No Simcoe.
No Simcoe. I like Simcoe.
There was something in the aftertaste I'm getting that I can't put my finger on, but it really rounds it out really well.
Maybe it's the wheat.
I guess it probably is, because it's not like any other IPA that I've had, so it probably is that wheat.
I almost get a berry note, which you can expect from some of those hops. Because it's very citrusy and fruity up front, and then I get a bit of berry in the background.
Like a slightly darker flavor
Yeah.
at the end. Yeah.
Like a darker fruit.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It is very nice. And it's an IPA that, what I like about it is that it you get the hops. Like you taste, I taste the hops in there, delicious, great varieties of hops. But I could see that this would actually go well with food as well, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't be like, I can taste hops now and I can't taste my burrito. I can't taste my pizza or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't taste my pizza.
I can't taste my burrito.
Yeah, it's definitely not a sharp IPA.
Yeah.
It's got a nice blending. And I think, like he said, the wheat kind of rounds everything out somewhat.
Yeah, it does. It cleans it up at the end. It just sort of takes a little of the edge of the hops off, like you said. It's not real sharp.
Yep.
Yeah. Very nice.
Good.
Although I do think I like the blood orange better.
But both of those are on tap right now at Mexitali, but both huge sellers.
Very
Blood
nice.
Orange specifically is a huge seller.
Yeah, I bet.
You can't go wrong with a huge seller if the people are drinking it.
That's
It
right.
must be good.
Give the people
Absolutely.
what they want,
That's right.
So for anyone who may not be aware, where is Mexitali?
Mexitali is 2440 East Market Street in York. It's in the Outback Steakhouse strip mall. Outback is on the far left-hand side. Mexitali is on the far...
But you only want to use the Outback as a landmark. You don't want to go to Outback. You want to go to Mexitali.
No.
No, but after Mexitali, you want to go to Maple Donuts.
Oh, yes,
right,
absolutely.
Just saying, and get a Fruity Pebbles donut. Or don't leave them so I can get them and get something else.
Yes.
That is all.
That is all.
There is nothing worse than when you go to Maple Donuts at
And there's no Fruity Pebbles
11
donuts
o'clock
left.
at night after drinking.
Yeah, and you
there's-
get glazed
And there's
or
like
powdered.
3 flavors of donuts left.
Fruity Pebbles. Thanks for that.
No problem. That's what I'm here for.
Anyway, tangent.
Yes.
Yeah. Rick, thank you so much. It was awesome to meet you.
Great
Sure,
meeting
you
you. Thanks
too.
for coming up to the table.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Thank you.
So joining us now at the table, we have Mark from Cunningham. Mark, how are you tonight?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Doing good. I'll try that again. Mark, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Much better, thank you. We're excited that you're up here joining us, and I have to say, when you guys came in and set up, you're right next to where we are. For anybody who can't see this, and
Which is everybody listening.
which is everybody who's listening that was not here. Okay? There are some people that might be listening that were here and know exactly what I'm talking about.
For those of you who don't have synesthesia and can't see the words that I'm saying right now.
But no, you guys are right next to us, and you have what I think is probably the most elaborate setup I've seen for a beer fest.
Oh, thank you.
It's
It is
awesome.
pretty impressive.
We'll have to get a picture up in
Got like the nice, like what is like a hammered copper looking bar top,
Like,
and
it
then
looks-
like actual like tabletop taps, and
it looks like an actual like bar
like a little
instead
bar.
of just like a
It's pretty
table
cool.
with like a. I mean, there are other brewers that are here that just have like little boxes set up with it. Like, that looks legit. That's awesome.
It's a lot of work to set up. They even reminded us when we came in that we could have just used a table, but we get such a good response from setting this thing up. So we like to do that.
It stands out, and I got to say, you guys were like one of the first ones up here setting up because we were here pretty early, and you guys were one of the first ones up here setting up, and I see why now.
Exactly, you have to be.
Yeah.
And
Well, you
I
kind
also,
of feel like you're at a bar and not at a beer fest.
Yes,
right,
it's
right.
nice. It's
Like you
nice.
go up, you lean on, and you start talking to the
It's inviting.
bartender.
Yeah. You're probably like, okay, you need to move. There's more people in
Yeah,
line.
exactly.
Let's go. Get out of the way.
And I have to give you props for your hat too. I like the hat.
Oh,
I was
thank you.
admiring that from afar.
For those of you who can't see the hat right now,
We'll
you
get
can
a
see the
picture.
picture
Yeah,
on
exactly.
beerbusterspodcast.com.
Exactly. You weren't here last year, were you?
No. This is the first year.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the Capital City Invitational on behalf of Appalachian. Apparently, I have the authority to do that.
Artie thanks you.
Artie, yes. Artie says thanks. But Steph, when she saw your list of beers that you have, I guess you've two with you, right?
Yes.
She got a little geeky about one of them.
You had me at jalapeno.
You had her at
You had me
jalapeno.
at jalapeno.
So there's a
And then lager as well, which
yes.
is interesting. Yeah.
Yes, jalapeno lager, and then an IPA you had with you, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So how did
So you guys are drinking the IPA and I'm drinking the jalapeno lager.
I'm tasting the lager at least.
at the very minimum. But how did the idea for the jalapeno lager come about?
I really love everything spicy.
You and Steph will get along.
High fives.
Particularly, though, I like the jalapeno pepper. I mean, I'm one of these nut jobs. I'll go out there and I'll eat stuff made with ghost peppers, scorpion peppers, whatever.
I say again, you and Steph will get along.
But that said, when it comes to the actual taste, I love the flavor of a jalapeno, not just the heat of it.
Yeah.
And so my goal with this beer is I wanted to actually provide the aroma of a jalapeno pepper, the taste of a jalapeno pepper, but only a little bit of heat, because I wanted something you could actually sit down and drink all day.
Yeah.
The aroma is wonderful.
Yeah.
I really like the jalapeno character of the aroma. It's not stinging and burning. And you really get the character of the jalapeno is very nice.
Yeah, and definitely when you take a sip of it, you get the flavor of it, not the heat. Which I mean, I can take spicy stuff to a degree. Jalapeno is one of my favorite peppers because it's not very hot and it's very flavorful, and it translates well to a beer when it's done right. Which I would argue this is done very, very well.
Well, you don't eat a scorpion pepper for the flavor.
Most people don't.
No, this is true.
That's not why. But yeah, you completely achieved what you were going for.
Oh, thank
that
you very
beer
much.
celebrates, and I think the lager base is smart because it is a clean base, and it just allows the
And
jalapeno to shine.
what I think the lager base does bring to it is a hint of nacho chip,
Yeah.
which goes with the jalapeno
Wow.
very well.
Perfect since I'm craving a burrito right
Yeah.
now
Yeah,
after Mexitali. And I have to say, when you send this beer out, it sells out rather quickly. Rich and I were up in your neck of the woods in February now, and you're correct me, you're just a production brewery. You can't actually visit the brewery.
Actually, as of 2 weeks ago, you can now visit the brewery. Our tap room opened.
Awesome.
Well, at
Congrats.
the time when we were up there, you weren't open to the public, so I kept calling bars that claimed to have this on tap. I'm like, do you have the jalapeno? No, we're out of it. No, we're getting more at the end of the week. So clearly it's a very popular beer, and people are drinking it. And that's why the Schuylkill County Beer Fest, I guess, was the first time I actually had this. And when I saw you guys were there and I saw that you had this beer, I was like, finally I can try it. But so 2 weeks ago, do you have a tap room?
Yes,
Tours?
we have a tap room now open Wednesdays and Fridays. We're just doing 2 days a week now to feel it out.
Nice. So now you can go. You don't have to call bars in the area, and you can actually try this beer.
Yeah. So Steph mentioned your neck of the woods. Where I don't know where that is. Where are you guys located?
The best way to describe it is if you look on a map, right where Interstate 80 and 81 meet.
Okay.
We're within a mile of that actual intersection.
Okay. Easy enough. Fair enough. And how long has Cunningham been around the brewery?
We celebrated 2 years in August.
Okay.
We started handing around the IPA now, and I got to say I'm a fan of that as well. It's really, really well done.
Oh, thank you.
And Wayne's holding it up to get a look at the
Nice
color
color.
of it.
It's
Yeah.
nice and it's nice and hazy, which I like. It's got it's got a robust body to it, a nice rich character that I really like.
Yeah, actually, I focus more on the body than I did on the hops, and I know that I might get knocked for that being an IPA, but I felt that was important.
Absolutely.
I love the characteristics of Belgian grain, so I tried to make basically a Belgian IPA with this. So it's almost entirely Belgian grain, Belgian yeast. And then to make the hops a little bit unique, I grow some of the hops that are in there.
Oh, really? Oh, nice. Very nice. Now, do you grow them? Do you have a spot at the brewery, or you grow them at your home?
We have a farm that helps support the brewery. It's about 3 or 4 miles away from the brewery.
Oh, okay, nice. Very nice.
Do you grow the jalapenos at the farm also?
We do.
Nice.
We grow the pumpkins for our pumpkin ale. We've actually have small plots of grain planted this year. We're not doing anything with them for production-wise, but we're hoping to get there next year or the following year.
That's really cool. It's like your beer through and through, almost at that point. Which is
Our
great.
goal is to get to the point that we truly have a farm-to-glass beer, that we can say at least one beer a year or two from now, we'll be able to say this is an indigenous beer. It's made right here.
It's such a cool idea.
That is
awesome.
Cool. So I got to say, I always assume that a brewery's IPA is their biggest seller because it's always the IPA. But like Steph said, your jalapeno lager is very popular and very delicious. So which of these two beers are more popular for you guys, the lager or the IPA? Or you don't really...
If you purely go by sales, the IPA is our biggest seller.
Okay.
But that said, the jalapeno lager is by far the most talked about.
Right.
I mean, it gets the most attention.
Right. Cool.
Not many people have a beer with peppers that is one of their flagship beers.
That's
They'll,
true.
they'll play around with it and make it a one-off or a seasonal, but I like that it's one of the beers that you are known for.
Yeah.
And rightly so. It's really well made.
And actually what made me think of that was you mentioned growing pumpkins for your pumpkin beer, and I stopped and thought, I wonder why they didn't bring their pumpkin beer today, since it is September and everybody loves pumpkin beers. But I would imagine that these two beers are these more representative of your identity as a brewery?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And our pumpkins are just getting ready now, so we're still a few weeks away.
So you're actually brewing pumpkin beer in the fall as opposed to like July.
Right.
There's something to be said for that. That's awesome.
Very nice.
Cool. Well, Mark, thank you so much for coming up to the table with us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks, and thanks for these beers. They're great. And I'm probably gonna try to have one more of the jalapeno one before I leave.
Yes,
Absolutely, we can top you off.
A pepper beer that you like.
Steph was so excited she almost knocked her microphone over.
Yeah, we'll
It's all good.
We'll get a
I'm
real high five
excited that
later.
you like a pepper beer.
It's not that I don't like. Well, and now Wayne wants me to finish.
Well, I was
it.
gonna finish it myself, but I figured I'd let you have some more.
Aw,
It is really good.
you're so nice.
Thank you. Well, Mark, thanks again.
Thank you, Mark.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Cheers.
We have somebody at the table now who I'm pretty sure at this point needs no introduction, but we'll give him one anyway.
International Trevor.
I
man
like
himself.
it. I like it a lot.
The man himself. Thank you for coming up to the table.
Never had my own jingle.
Well, now you do,
now, yeah.
courtesy of Steph.
I know.
Whether or not she wanted it to be
Most
or not.
likely slightly intoxicated Steph, because that's what happens whenever there's an evil genius at the table.
That's
is
true.
true.
Yeah, it's usually how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have not spilled beer on myself yet today, though. But I've
First time
also
for
not
everything.
had any purple
Challenge
monkey.
accepted.
Damn it.
There's a first time for everything. Actually, I might spill beer on myself because I still do not own an Evil Genius t-shirt.
You don't? Oh, wow.
No, so I may have to sacrifice my
I was
Weezer
expecting
t-shirt.
Trevor to like stand up and take the shirt off his back.
Literally.
And be like, here.
Well, I mean, we're different builds, so I don't know that would necessarily fit me.
Bill, that's a very PC way of saying it.
I'm fat, he's not. All right, how about that?
Now I kind of want you to try to get into my T-shirt.
Just to see it happen.
All right. Well, I mean, if you
We have to videotape this.
Although,
yeah.
actually, that's not the shirt that I have. I have the love shirt.
Oh,
This
yes,
now
this is the
beer
new
Guys
shirt.
are the
shirt.
retro shirts.
Yeah, the
Retro,
original.
I like that.
The original.
the
yeah.
original shirts.
Yeah.
So talk
man.
about the new shirt.
They now say beer on the front of them instead of love.
Somehow I knew that's what you were going to say.
It's a pretty cool shirt.
It's that way that they can have the logo on there twice
Well,
because
we-
there's two E's.
What we kind of found was that not every guy was as comfortable with his sexuality and wanted to have the word love on the front of it. Yeah.
Really?
Basically, yeah.
Wow. I would not have thought of that.
Sad commentary on the state of the world today.
But what I did also find out when I was selling both of them was that people actually would like to have a shirt that says love on one side and beer on the other.
That's not a bad idea. There you go.
Ah. So
And then when I put them both together, people were like, oh, lobe beer. That didn't work out so well.
Not so much.
Drunk people.
I'm like,
they're
drunk
so
people,
smart.
I know they're great.
Yeah.
Someone
so smart.
emailed me because they'd seen that picture on Instagram saying, "Where can I get the low beer shirt?" And I'm like, "That's not a thing. That's not a thing."
Well, now it probably should be. There we go.
I know, right?
Speaking of which, not really. You don't have honey beer here?
I don't.
Yeah, what the
I'm
hell?
very upset about
What
this.
the hell?
Dan
She
is the
did
only
not
one of us who had
come
tried it.
Beer here.
Beer
Which
is not here.
We also have
Here.
to. Maybe we should explain a little more. So first, we have to say congratulations on 4 years.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yes,
so
yes.
much. Thank you very much.
I was at the birthday party, and then the after party, and then the after party.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun, and Honey Beer was a really good beer.
I was there in body, and there were lots of spirits.
And there were indeed lots of spirits, yes. But instead of Honey Beer, you guys have, what is it, Evil Eye and then...
Purple Monkey Dishwasher.
Purple Monkey Dishwasher, of course. I have to say, Evil Eye, this might be a little too much information, I apologize. Evil IPA I shower beered with, and that was the first shower beer I'd had in a very long time. So for anyone who's not familiar
Awesome
with
mental picture.
no, I'm kidding. For anyone who is not familiar with the concept of shower beer, just take a hot beer and drink a cold. Take a hot shower and drink a cold beer.
In the shower?
In the shower. It's actually really soothing. On one of my rare days off, I figured, why the hell not?
It's an efficient way of pre-drinking and not wasting the shower time of not drinking.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's more of a time management tool.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean,
that makes me sound
I've had
productive.
a beer while taking a bath.
I thought you were going to
That's
say
another
you do have to
version.
have a shelf that's relatively high, otherwise,
you get water in it. Yeah.
So. That's
Or one of
nice.
them hats with the straws that come out.
You could do that.
Yeah,
could
you
do
could do
that.
that. Yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah, we had our anniversary beer was Here Comes Honey Beer.
a honey IPA
It's a honey IPA.
with locally sourced honey.
Yeah, from Lancaster. So
Very
very,
cool.
very local actually. And we dry hopped it with Amarillo, so it was pretty delicious actually.
Yeah, and you had two Firkins that were there. They were both based with Stacy's mom, right?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
She's got it going on.
She does, and in that case, she absolutely did. I had the
They
one.
were fun, yeah.
The one was, what was it, Simcoe and Lime? Is that what it
Simcoe
was?
and Lime, and the other was I can't even say it.
Matsuoka?
That's the one, and lemon.
Yeah, I didn't have that
I
one.
was is it wrong that I was so proud that you both pronounced that correctly?
We've come a long way, Steph.
You've both come such a long way.
But no, the Simcoe and Lime one was great, and I had I had Trick or Treat, which was my first pumpkin beer of the year, which
nice.
was a good way to ring it in. And then we had the Ruddy Buck here as well, so I'm 2 for 2 with good ones so far.
It is pumpkin. It is now officially pumpkin
It's
season.
September. We can drink pumpkin
September,
beers.
it's okay. Well, for me, it's Märzen season, but October is
pumpkin
pumpkin
Märzen?
season. A pumpkin Märzen? I don't think Germans would approve of that.
I don't think
That
so,
does
but
not
I
fit in with
have
the
to feel like it's
Reinheitsgebot.
got to exist somewhere.
I'm sure it does.
Probably.
I don't think. Yeah, I'm not sure it would be good though.
I don't know if it would be good. I
can't imagine
But I'm
it
sure
would be.
somebody. It's probably a homebrew.
Although there's a lot of pumpkin things now. Luke posted
Yeah.
today
Pumpkin
about
tampons.
Pumpkin. He did not post about that.
Sorry. Continue.
I feel like that might sting.
Steph almost
what
did
do
a
you
spit
think?
take over my computer. Thanks.
That might sting.
Not something you say while I'm taking a sip of beer.
Anyway,
No, there's a pumpkin pasta sauce.
Ew.
Really?
That sounds
I saw that.
disgusting.
Yeah, that does not sound good.
Yeah.
You should let Wayne have a sip because you're gonna.
Yeah,
just
you're
finish
definitely
it.
going to finish that, and I haven't had this in a little while actually.
And this is a few years ago, and I think it did not do well. I did see pumpkin Snickers.
I think I remember that.
I feel like I did not buy one, but it didn't look good.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's probably why it didn't do well, because nobody thought it looked good.
Yep.
The pumpkin flavored stuff needs to stop. Enough is enough.
Not everything needs to have
Enough
pumpkin
is
in it.
enough.
Not everything.
I feel like we need a year of nothing with pumpkin. Like we all need to cleanse ourselves and get beyond it. And
You know,
come
I was
back.
going to say we could just somehow sabotage like the pumpkin crop for the entire year, but the truth is there would still be pumpkin stuff because you just throw
Yeah.
nutmeg and cinnamon and
Yeah,
whatever
it has
else
nothing
in it.
to do with the
You'd
pumpkin.
have to like sabotage a lot of different crops.
A lot. We may have to institute a nuclear war.
Wow, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, we went from like, oh, I don't really like pumpkin stuff to nuclear war.
It doesn't
That's what
take
happens when one of you sits down
In
at our
three, I
table.
can go from disliking pumpkins to nuclear holocaust in 3 steps.
Is this a game show?
Yes.
That's awesome. I like it.
I went to name that tune in my head.
That's kind of what
I
it was,
can name that tune in 3 notes.
I think that's what it was based off of.
Yeah. Does that
That's
mean
awesome.
I got it?
So what's this is going to be a loaded question, and I know you have to not say certain things. But what's on the horizon for Evil Genius?
Well,
we
something
have a new beer
exciting.
coming out next month.
All right.
We have a fresh hop IPA
Called?
Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken.
That's right.
Yes.
You told me about that one.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it.
So we actually just got the email today that our because we're using Mosaic and Citra, and they're being picked I think on Monday and Tuesday. So we should have them Wednesday, Thursday. So
Delicious.
Very nice.
And you have a brewer?
We have a brewer, yeah, John, actually, who we'll have to get him on the show at some point.
I was
absolutely.
upset that I didn't get to meet him. I saw everybody else there, but I did not get to meet John.
He keeps saying I'm pronouncing his last name wrong, so I'm not even going to say it. But
Oh, I was going to.
Dan definitely pronounced it wrong the other day.
More than likely.
But he won't tell me how to pronounce it.
What's
so.
his last name?
I would need to see it written in front of me.
We did it in our news segment on our last recording at Deer Creek. Dan talked about it.
Oh,
and
yes,
he's like,
we did.
He said the name. He's like, I think that's wrong, but
I don't even know, so I can't even correct you. So
it's
I have
Smith,
no idea.
by the way, guys. Smith.
John
It's
Smith.
not hard.
John Smith, head brewer for Evil Genius.
With an F. Yeah.
With an F. Smith. Welcome to Smith.
Yeah, but so he just he's been working with us kind of anecdotally for a few months and just kind of came on full time because at some point in the very near future we will also be announcing the location of our new brewery, and so John's going to be obviously heavily involved with that, and we're
He
really
said
excited
very.
about that.
Oh, I know.
He said very.
Oh, I know. I know.
It is very near.
All right.
Very, very, very
We're
near.
ready.
Yeah,
We've
with an
been
F.
ready.
Yeah.
We can do a phoner. It's you can call us.
Well, that's what
and
I
get-
kind of figured is
Yeah.
we would
Yeah.
do that. You know,
Well, I was thinking like how near, like now, or like now, or how about now?
How about no?
It's almost now.
Yeah.
Just missing a letter.
It's I would say probably within the next 3 to 4 weeks we should be telling you guys something.
That's exciting.
That's the hope. So
Can't
we're just
wait.
going through the usual stuff that you do when you're buying a commercial building, and it's
Oh,
my
yeah.
first time, so I'm learning all of that
all
fun
right.
stuff.
Well, and you need to let us know because we need to get a Beer Busters apartment near that location because I have a feeling we'll be going there a lot. And we all know what happens when the three of us are with the Evil Geniuses.
I know, right? You barely leave the basement.
Yes.
Well,
There's no after parties.
I remember. I think I told Andrew when we were at the scavenger hunt. We just need an office. Like I'll take part of somebody's desk.
Sure.
Okay. Cool.
We can make something like that happen.
All right. Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But you were saying when I was talking to you the other night that you guys are planning.
These are all like flashbacks that you're gonna make me have now, right?
Well,
Yeah.
this is from the good part of
A
the night.
lot's happened since then.
Which part was the good part?
Still from City Tap. Still from City Tap.
Okay, we're still at City Tap,
Right.
guys. All right. Yeah. All right.
But you're planning on having like a rooftop area, right?
That's something we probably will build into. It probably won't be open to begin
Okay.
with, but like that's something we would really like to do is because people like drinking outside, and there's actually not that many rooftop beer gardens or whatever you want to call them in Philadelphia or even surrounding.
Right,
so
right.
it would be something unique that we may have. So it's something we would like to do.
And
Again,
I
it's like local zoning and all that.
I wonder what the view would look like from that rooftop.
Yeah,
deck.
what buildings might you be
Yeah,
able
what-
to see, and in which direction?
You can see the sky.
You can see the sky.
Yep.
Okay.
And you can see other buildings.
And you can see other
Yeah.
buildings.
And airplanes, maybe?
Airplanes.
If
And
you
birds?
look in one direction, it's north.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So-
And if you turn around,
South.
Yeah. Wow.
I know.
Amazing.
With an F.
I mean, if you can't figure it out from that,
I was going to
you're
say,
like,
I
you're
know
just
now.
an idiot.
I know. Like, you totally gave it away. But
Oh, also, you got your wish. I didn't get the job.
Yes.
I know, right?
Sorry.
It
Not
happens.
sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
There'll be another one.
Yep, and it's called Beer Busters.
That was too far away. I told you I was going to make that phone call.
No, he was literally the next day too. That's the thing.
Oh, wow. That was crazy. Yeah.
Good job. You didn't mess around.
Yeah. No.
Dan's job prospects now, all the pumpkins tomorrow.
Okay.
On that note.
On that note, yeah.
It would have been very cold there.
For like 10 months, yeah.
And is there any good
For
beer
like
there?
10 months.
What's that?
Any good beer? I
Is
don't
there
know.
any good beer there?
Well, the lady that was in charge of hiring, when she sent me the email, it's like, hey, sorry we didn't pick you. She goes, let us know how Beer Busters goes. You know, we're excited to watch the growth of it. And in parentheses, we're all beer lovers here. So apparently something is out there. She didn't say what.
So there's beer.
There has to be, like, every city has some good beer.
Something, yeah.
Right.
Or they're at least importing it. What's the closest good city to them?
Minneapolis.
Which is right next door to
St.
St.
Paul?
Paul. St. Paul was where the station was.
Yeah. So there's probably, like, really good breweries that we don't even get at here because they don't come this far, but they might get.
Exactly. See?
But we'll never be taking a road trip there.
I might.
Screw you, Minneapolis or St. Paul, whichever it was.
Whatever.
Apparently, there's only 2 months of the year you can go as well. So there is that.
Yeah, about that. Well, on that note,
I know.
Trevor, thanks for stepping up to the mic.
Tour guides describe
Thank you
it
for
as
having me.
Trevor.
No problem.
desolate.
Yes.
Trevor.
And I noticed Rich is pouring for you while you're up here because you're flying solo.
Yes, thank you to him
It's
very
like
much.
he heard us say that.
I know, right?
Like, on cue, he waved.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Weird. Does he have, like, whatever?
Spidey sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Trevor, thank you. We expect to be first on the list of people you break the news.
You will be 100%.
All right,
promise.
good. Awesome. All right, good. It's
Awesome.
been recorded yet again. It's proof. Cool. Very excited for it. I can't wait to own an Evil Genius Growler.
No problem.
Cool. Well, thank you for
I can't wait to have him.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, thanks for coming up to the table. Make sure you sign the tablecloth for the 19th time.
I will.
And I guess Rich probably needs a break.
I
Cool.
think so too.
Well,
all right.
thank you,
cool.
Trevor.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Awesome.
Have
Good
a
to
good one.
man.
See you. Bye-bye.
Joining us now, we have Amanda from Erie Brewing Company. Amanda, how are you?
Good.
Cool. Well, thank you for coming up to the table with us.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Cool. I'm glad to hear. We are too. Now you have a couple of beers with. We have of course, being September, it's acceptable to have a pumpkin beer. So we have Johnny Rails Pumpkin Ale, and what was the other one?
Mad Anthony's APA. It's an American Pale Ale.
Mad Anthony's APA. Okay, cool.
Making an executive decision. Let's start with the pumpkin.
Start with the pumpkin? Fair
Right.
enough. My question is, are Johnny Rails and Mad Anthony related?
No,
Are they like brothers or
they are
something?
not. No, Mad Anthony is like a historical figure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then Johnny Rails is just
It's
a
just
made-up
a
person.
name. Well, I'm interested about Mad Anthony's historical figure.
Yeah,
So
okay.
who is Mad Anthony?
Okay, let me get the story right. So he was a general in the American Revolutionary War. I hope no one. Oh, am I not?
You're fine.
Okay. Let me think. Oh yeah. Okay. So he was shot during the American Revolutionary War.
Okay.
He got lead poisoning. That is why they call him Mad Anthony.
Okay.
And then I don't know if they didn't know what lead poisoning was back then, so they boiled his bones to kind of like cleanse his body. And
was he dead at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
How else would they do it?
They boiled him alive. Yeah. No. And then
It's
they
like
buried him
a
in
crab
Erie.
or a lobster. It's what you do to them, right?
Right. So they buried him in Erie. His son was upset because he was not buried in the family plot. So he dug up his bones that were in Erie and put them in his wagon and drove back to the family plot.
Sauteed them with a nice like wine sauce.
Well, then when he got
Fine
back
Chianti.
to wherever he was going, he realized the bones had fallen out. So Mad Anthony's bones are strewn across PA.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard that story before. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Now you know.
That's pretty awesome.
And it's a pretty good pale ale, too.
I haven't tried it yet. I had the pumpkin. It's very good pumpkin. It's not too crazy pumpkin like some of the pumpkin beers you get.
Yeah, our pumpkin is a blonde-based ale, so it's purposely not overly flavorful. Super light,
Good.
6.5%.
Yeah, it's subtle and like subdued, but it's still there.
Yeah.
And then the pale, yeah, that's it. It reminds me of Bones.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's light. It's crisp. It's refreshing.
Say,
It does not taste like dead bodies.
No.
There's not taste like dead bodies. That's good. That's good. No, it does not.
There's your tagline.
It does not taste like dead bodies.
It does not taste
Mad
like
Anthony's American Pale Ale does not taste like dead bodies.
No
Or
one was
boiled
harmed in
bones.
the making of this beer.
I love it. So the last time I was at Erie Brewing Company was about 2.5 years ago. And a lot has changed with your brewery and your brand since then.
Mhm. Yeah, we just completely rebranded this year. We have a new graphic artist. She's from North Carolina. She's amazing. So we updated all of our brands, all of our cases, 6-packs. Everything looks different, more colorful, vibrant. It's been helping out with sales a lot.
Yeah.
So we're having a good year.
Yeah, as much as you say, don't judge a book by its cover.
It makes
when
a
there's
difference,
so many
yeah.
options on the shelf, definitely there are
You really
certain
gotta
things
stand
that
out,
pop
yeah.
out at you,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Although putting boiled bones on the label, that would stand out.
Yeah, I
that would
hope-
stand out.
It'd be like a giant cauldron bone sticking out of it. Is that
or
what it would
something.
be?
I don't know. You have to interpret it as you will.
You don't even have to pay us for these amazing ideas that these guys are coming up with. You can use them.
That is
you
the
want
favorite,
to,
my
though,
favorite
you
thing
can.
I've learned today is Mad Anthony.
After this podcast, we're going to see sales go like, love it.
No.
Just kidding. We actually changed the hop content on it too. It's made with Citra hops now. So a little more citrusy, a little West Coast style.
What was it before?
I believe Simcoe and Cascade.
Okay.
Now, the Erie area is very well represented here today. We have Voodoo, Blue Canoe, Erie. I mean, I don't know if people realize that there is such a big beer scene in Erie.
Yeah, this year we created the Lake Erie Ale Trail. So we started off with 4 breweries. It was us, Lavery, Brew Erie, and Erie Ale Works. And then now, after we did our first run, I think it's been like 9 months, we have 11 breweries.
Wow.
Trying to make it like a destination spot. We have the wine trail, and we just wanted to give people a different option.
Yeah.
So you see people come in from everywhere saying they want to do the Lake Erie Ale Trail.
Nice.
So it's been nice.
That's really cool.
Awesome. So how long has Erie Brewing Company been around, the namesake for the area?
Since 93.
So like one of the first, if not the first in the area.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Blazing trails. That's cool.
Well, yeah, we're the old kids on the block.
Just means you have the most
The old
experience.
heads.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure. And last time I was there, you could visit the brewery, and you had a little store and a bar, if I remember correctly. Is that still
Yeah,
the
we have a
setup?
tasting room. Unfortunately, we're not a brew pub, so we don't sell food, but we have snacks. And they
Snacks are good.
reinterpreted a law, or they changed it. We can sell pints now.
Nice.
Yes.
Which has been
Yep.
huge for us.
That's pretty awesome.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
So is this American Pale Ale one of your flagship beers? I mean, obviously the pumpkin's is seasonal, but is this like one of your
Yep.
big?
Yeah.
Do you have an IPA as well as the
Misery
APA?
Bay IPA.
Okay.
And
IPA. Misery Bay.
Misery Bay IPA.
Very nice.
Yeah, a lot of our older beers have, historical ties to Erie and
I was gonna say macabre, morbid.
Wait, what?
Like macabre and morbid
Yeah.
type names. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We have a theme.
So what's Misery Bay?
Misery Bay, you know what? I don't know for sure. I know that it was like the Battle of Lake Erie, and I think Misery Bay is a real thing. And I think a lot of people just died on it.
I think I actually heard this story. We took a boat ride on Lake Erie. Rich is nodding his head. I don't remember the story though. Nope.
There's just a lot of death associated with Erie Brewing, I guess.
Well, yeah, maybe it was the deadliest battle, so there's a lot of dead bodies in the... I don't
Not
know.
in the beer.
And our beer
This is-
honors that.
This is
Your beer
going
honors that.
downhill fast.
We're not spiraling up.
So with Trevor, we had nuclear holocaust. Now we're just talking about
We just
rat
get really
death.
morbid.
This is what happened to us.
Seriously, though, they're very good beers.
It's the
and
bad
they're not-
weather. Maybe
yeah.
that's
It must be. There we go. We'll blame it on the rain.
Blame it on the rain. Yeah, yeah.
Oh God.
Oh, spiraling up.
Save us, Dan.
Save us, Dan.
Okay. Well, for what the beers were
They're really
very,
good.
very,
Very
good.
good. I really like.
Yeah, and I like pumpkin beers that are not like boom in your face pumpkin.
Right.
The subdued subtlety of it is perfect.
Good,
It's
I'm glad
so
you
well
like
done.
it.
And the pale was great as well. I'm excited to if I get out to the western part of the state to visit and try everything else you guys have.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Well, awesome. Well, Amanda, it was nice meeting you. Thanks for stepping up to the table with us.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank
Awesome.
you for causing me to ponder my own mortality for the rest of the evening.
You're
The
welcome.
existential
Appreciate it.
quandary we will now have.
Wow.
Thank you, Amanda.
No,
Yeah,
seriously, it's been
cheers.
awesome. Thank you so much.
So now we have joining us a couple of guys from the Rehab Homebrew Club. One guy we've had on a couple of times before. We brewed with him and everything. We have Steve, but we also have Ben and Corey here. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming up to the table with us.
Glad to be here.
Well,
Glad to be here.
so I know we each have, you guys have your own homebrews here, right? Your different recipes?
So we've got 3 guys and we've got 3 beers. Each recipes or brews from one of you.
Yes. So we have to start off with who takes credit for what.
Actually, what I was going to say is, and I know you guys, before we officially introed, already told us whose beer was which. And you probably shouldn't have, because we should have picked which one we liked the best without knowing whose
Well,
was
I
whose.
don't remember, so.
The pressure.
I remember because I think the one I'm going to like the best was Steve's. Just based on what they are.
So let's start with the amber hop.
The amber hop. So,
yes, whose beer?
Cat's
is
out of the
this?
bag. Whose beer was this?
Yeah.
This was
That's mine.
That was Corey's beer.
Hey, tell us a little bit about this beer.
It was completely an experimental batch.
Okay.
As a lot of homebrews are.
Yeah, that's the whole point. I just wanted to make something that was an amber, but I wanted it hoppier like an IPA, so I just added a lot of roasty grains to it to give it that amber and a little bit of a dark grain astringency, then I added a lot of hops, like 60 IBU was supposed to be, but it definitely comes off less than 60 IBU when
It
you
doesn't.
taste
Yeah,
it.
it doesn't feel that high, but it's really good. I really like it. It's
Yeah, me
got
too.
a nice, almost like chocolatey caramel. You know, the malty
Yeah,
character
that'd be
from the
a lot of
amber.
chocolate
Yeah,
malt
yeah.
went into it.
It has a nice caramelly, almost
Caramelly.
dark fruit finish.
Yeah, yeah, and
That
it's
I
got
like.
a nice, like robust, thick body. Like it
Right.
feels.
It should for an
robust.
amber with a lot of hops. It
Yeah,
should have
yeah.
a thick body.
So Corey,
That's
you
very new beer. It's only like 4 weeks old right now at
Oh.
this point, so it's very fresh. I mean, just carbonated.
It's interesting because this seems like the type of beer that would make like almost like a good like fall winter seasonal.
Right.
But it's interesting to have a beer that fits that category, but also has that hop character.
Right. Well, it is the fall season, so you definitely want to have,
Yeah.
the fall type beers, and a darker, more malty beer in the fall is always what you want. A warming beer.
Yeah.
So.
and Corey, you are the founder of Rehab.
Yes.
So what motivated you to start up this craziness?
Well, I was brewing, and there wasn't any clubs in the area. The original club that was out of Scotts and Brothers
Mhm.
had closed down, and so I went in and asked them, "Hey, can I start a club here?" And so they put me in contact with one of the old members from the other club, and we talked a little bit and decided to start one. And so we started it. It's at least 2004. It's been. I've been brewing myself for almost 20 years now, so.
Nice.
So it's
And do you meet at the homebrew store? Is
not
that
anymore.
No?
We've grown so large that we pretty much have meetings either at people's houses or at breweries or other places. We might meet at the store once a year
Mhm.
anymore. We just have gotten too big. Their store's not big enough for the group.
And you meet once a month?
Once a month, yep. First Saturday of every month we meet.
And are you open to the public? So if there's a home brewer in the area, they can just show up?
Right. If somebody wants to come and check out the club, they're welcome to come to the first meeting. We have Facebook pages, and we have a blog, actually, honestly, and that usually has the information. The Facebook page is the one that has a lot of the current information as to what the next meeting will be and when the time is, where to show up,
Very cool.
And everyone's welcome to come and check it out.
And Scotts and Brothers does have all the contact information in case anybody needs to get in contact with us.
Right, just look up Rehab though on Facebook, and that should give you all the information you need. We usually update that pretty regularly.
Awesome.
So should we go on to the ESB?
It's a Belgian ESB,
Belgian
right?
Belgian ESB. So whose is this?
That's Ben's.
All right.
Ben. All right. Tell us about the Belgian ESB. Because ESB is typically an English style ale.
Right, that's what's throwing me
So you're
off
like,
on it.
screw it, I'm making it Belgian.
Well, it is the fill the mash tun method of homebrew. So I fill my mash tun, and then I fill my boil kettle, and then I split it at the fermenters. So one, I threw in the traditional White Labs WLP002 English ale yeast, and the other half, in another 5-gallon carboy, I threw in, I don't know the name, but WLP 550 Belgian yeast. And quite frankly, I like the way the Belgian yeast came out better. I think it's drier, it's more easily drinkable, and that's why I encourage you all to drink it tonight.
Nice. So I'm sure you've had them side by side.
Yes.
And compared them both. I'm assuming that the Belgian yeast is probably bringing a fruitier character to the beer.
A little fruitier and definitely drier. I think the drinkability comes down with the Belgian yeast. The English ale yeast, not quite as dry as I personally like, so this one's better.
This one's better. And by process of elimination, I guess this is your beer, Steve.
Well, I can't take 100% credit for it because it was brewed with Kale and Brad, which you've all met before.
Yeah, we know those guys.
Okay. Well, they can take a larger part of the credit than I can on this beer, but I did have a part in it.
Sorry, I just drank half of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
come on.
so good. Tell us about it.
It's we did the work. We fast soured it with with lactobacillus in the kettle at 115 degrees for 3 days. We boiled it. We fermented it with the Norwegian farmhouse yeast, and there you go.
And that's what came out.
And that's it.
It's really good.
You can't buy that yeast in the U.S.
I was gonna say Norwegian farmhouse is not
Yes.
something I'm familiar with.
No, we sent away. White Labs actually cultures that yeast for a brewery in Norway, and we had to send to Norway for that yeast.
Is it Nugnia or?
I don't remember.
How did you even find out about this yeast?
Reading, research.
He's not legally allowed to
in
tell
the
you.
know. He's just in the know. This is
if I tell you, I have to kill you.
This is super funky. Like it's super like it's really good and very.
I agree.
No offense, guys. Like you guys' beers were good, but I knew I was gonna like this one the best when they came to the table. So
Well, and we've brewed with Steve, so we've seen the master in action.
yes.
You are a very talented
Yes, you will
brewer,
recognize Steve's voice. He's been on the
Well,
podcast
thank you.
before.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
Good stuff.
that.
So, no longer with Boobies, but clearly still brewing. What have you been up to?
Just home brewing. I had a ton of hops at my house, and 2 weeks ago I did a wet hop ale, which actually I'm going to keg tonight or in the morning. And
Depending on how today goes.
right. I'd like to drink it tomorrow because tomorrow I'm going to be brewing an IPA.
Woo! Wow.
I think that was last call.
Yeah. I think they were excited because Steve was talking about his wet hops.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So, so far it tastes okay. Like I said, I'm going to keg it tonight or tomorrow morning. Hopefully be drinking it tomorrow. I'll force carb it. And tomorrow I'm doing an IPA. I did a Hefeweizen last week.
Yum.
So
awesome.
Keep him busy.
Well, we're excited to see what's next for you.
Well, I can't say that there's anything directly in the works, but there's some stuff out there, and something might happen here in the near future.
Awesome. Well, keep us updated
Yeah,
so we can let our
We'll let you
listener
know.
knows.
We'll let you know.
Listeners knows. Yeah. Nice.
It's towards the end of the day. You're allowed
Yeah, I
to
know.
have a couple of
And
slurs.
Corey and Ben, it was so nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming up here, guys.
Yeah.
Pleasure. Best of luck in the second session tonight. I'm sure everything's going to go over well. These are 3 phenomenal beers, and I see why you're pouring them.
It's always fun as a home brewer when you can share your beer with the public, people that are not just your friends and family.
Right,
so
right.
enjoy.
Right. We love the feedback. The feedback
Yes.
is the best part.
That's right.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Cool. Guys, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, cheers.
Cool.
Cheers,
guys. So as our final guest for the evening, we have with us Bill from Big Rail. Bill, how are you?
Phenomenal.
Good. I'm glad to hear. Has the reception been going all right for you here?
Yes, it's been great, actually.
Good. I'm glad to hear. Now, Big Rail, where are you guys located?
Harmony, Pennsylvania.
And where is Harmony, Pennsylvania?
It's about 20 minutes north of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I thought he was going to say 20 minutes north of Melody.
But
So there's a huge representation from the western part of the state here, and that's really cool to see. But I guess welcome to Harrisburg. Welcome to the Invitational Beer Fest. You guys weren't here last year, were you?
No, we're pretty new.
All right.
Just getting the ball rolling here.
Awesome. When did you guys open?
Not open.
Not open.
Pretty close.
Okay. All right.
Oh, wow. So this is preview.
This is like the
exclusive.
Oh, this is juicy stuff here.
That's awesome.
This is juicy stuff.
That is
here.
awesome.
That
Ooh.
might just be the title of this episode.
Juicy stuff.
Juicy stuff.
This is juicy stuff here.
Speaking of juicy stuff.
Yeah.
So we're starting with
Steph. What is this beer you
Oats
just
and
handed me?
Hose.
Oats and Hose.
Oats and Hose.
I love it.
It reminds me of like cereal. In a good way.
In a good way.
It's like creamy, like milk and like
Yeah, I could
cereal.
see it. Yeah.
It's really nice.
Ooh. Yep.
So for our listeners, the first session is just wrapping up.
Yeah.
And the slightly intoxicated people are excitedly leaving.
Probably more than
I think
slightly.
there's like a gradient of intoxication.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first people to leave were relatively sober, and now these are the last people to leave, and they are further from sober.
They had to be forced out of the building.
So Oats and Hose is
Have a good night. Be safe. Have fun. Beer Busters rock. Okay, now it's a little quieter. Sorry.
So Oats and Hose is a nitro oat pale. I don't know if I've ever had a nitro oat pale. Where was the inspiration for this creative brew?
It was an inspiration basically from not having done many nitro beers up to date, and we decided that this beer had a nice kind of bitter kind of end to it, and we wanted to kind of smooth it off with some nitro. And this was the first beer that we got the nitro on, and I think it went well because most beers are going to be with extremely malty beers. Most nitro beers are going to be, darker, maltier. And we went with a little bit more of a hoppier edge. This is a moderately hopped oat pale ale. It's got a bit above average on the amount of oats used in the brewing process. So we kind of broke some laws, but we don't really care. So it's heavy. It's heavy on the.
Woo! We love you. Thanks, Mike.
Regardless, it's heavy on the oats, and we threw it on nitro, and it's nice and creamy, and it's a workhorse beer. It's nothing crazy. We're not reinventing the wheel. It's just a good beer. It's just a straight up beer, and
straight up beer,
balanced, and it's
straight up beer.
It's low alcohol, so you can kind of sit back on a Saturday afternoon, and even though it's end of summer, it don't matter. Just sit back and drink many of them.
We break all the rules.
Absolutely.
We don't care.
Instead of a lawnmower beer, it's a rake and leaves beer.
Rake and leaves beer.
All right.
So next is Donna's Farmhouse. So we have to ask, who's Donna?
Donna is she is bear with me. She is a widow of an old friend of mine, and she passed away, and then later her husband passed away, so she's no longer with us. But an old friend of ours, and they had a farm. My parents bought the farm. I later lived in the farmhouse after they moved out. My parents owned it, and we played music, we recorded music, we brewed some beer, had all the parties. It was the place to hang, and regardless, we owed homage to poor Donna because we destroyed her house.
Oh, what a nice way to honor her with a delicious farmhouse.
And it was a farm. It was a farm, so we did a farmhouse style beer in her honor.
Yeah,
Nice.
makes sense. I like it.
Very
There's a
nice.
nice personal tie to it. That's great.
Yep.
And now we have Business IPA.
Business IPA. It's a great IPA that we somehow happened upon. We were at a cool beer fest in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, and my good buddy AJ from Straub was there, and he was drinking a beer, and it was new, and we didn't have a name for it, and he tried it, and he come up to us and said, "Man, this is the business." It's like, yeah, that's the name right there.
Nice.
So it has a new experimental IP, or excuse me, a new experimental hop. It was at that time 5256, and which is now known as Eureka hops.
Mm-hmm.
And we have some heavy Eureka in the tail end of that beer, also in the dry hop stage. So it's a simple beer, a few malts, a few hops, but we keep it simple at Big Barrel.
Yeah.
So
There's nice like creaminess at the end of it.
yeah.
That rounds it all out. I like that.
And finally, we have Black Knuckle India Dark Ale.
India Dark Ale is it's basically, for most folks, they're going to know it as a black IPA, but just as been drinking some darker hoppy beers for a long time, and black pale does not really make any sense.
It is kind of a contradiction. Yeah.
So we decided to change that. So it's a dark India ale. It's a hoppy black beer, and we basically make a pretty hoppy porter, and the tail end of it is just super heavy with Simcoe hops. And
This is really good.
Yeah.
This is delicious.
Yeah,
really
no,
like
I
It
like
is
it
good.
a lot.
It almost reminds me of those chocolate-covered orange things, the candy,
Little bit, yeah.
the,
Oh,
the
wow,
orange,
yeah.
thing, because
Yeah.
you get like that dark, rich, roasty, chocolatey malt flavor,
And then the
but then
citrusy-
the citrus of the hops. It's a
Right.
nice combination. It's good.
so that's what we're going with, So
Fantastic. So when you do open to the public, what can visitors expect?
Well, there is a kind of a soft kind of opening. The Harmony Inn is located in Harmony, Pennsylvania, which is about 20 to 30 minutes north of Pittsburgh. And it is owned by North Country Brewing Company, which is in Slipper Rock, Pennsylvania. And they're some really close friends of ours. And we'll be serving our beer to the public for the first time on September 27th. And we have a couple German-style beers. And I've been to Germany, I've had the beers, and I would never, ever actually say that they're German beers because those guys have their shit together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But we took a stab at it, and we have
Yeah.
some pretty good imitations of their beers, I should say. We have a Kolsch beer, and my brother would probably punch me in the face because he has a very distinct pronunciation. It's Kolsch. And I'm probably still not doing it right. So we have that style. And we also have a Shtick beer, which is an alt beer, which is a style of an alt beer, which is basically a German brown ale, simply speaking. So we're going to feature those beers for the 27th and go from there.
Excellent.
Cool.
We'll go out on the 27th and check it out, and best of luck to you guys.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
given the preview that we've had today, I mean, these were all really good. So
I really
big
like the black
things.
knuckle. That
Yeah,
was my
yeah,
favorite of the
this is
four.
Delicious.
It's super good.
I'm hoarding it.
You can hoard it. I've had so much beer today.
Yeah, this is true. I can't think of a better way to end. That was awesome. Thank you for giving us this taste of your beers. Excited for what's in the future with, and you got to let us know when everything's everything's going for you.
We'll do.
Awesome.
I'm glad to be part of it. Thank you.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you for stepping up to the table.
Yes.
Right on.
Cool.
Thank you.
Well,
Nice to meet you.
Cheers.
Well, it's been a hell of a day.
Yes.
To say the least. A lot of great beer. A lot of cool people.
And it's finally quiet.
It's quiet here. Yeah.
All the drunk people have left.
And it's just
The first
people
round
who-
of drunk people.
The first round, yes.
Now it's just people who have to stick around for the second round of drunk people.
Yay!
Yay! Including coming back for the outro of the show, Mr. International Trevor himself.
That is
International
I with an F.
Trevor.
International Trevor.
There's the real one.
I with an F.
Yep.
Oh God, it's been that kind of day, hasn't it?
Yep.
Oh, you have no idea.
Yeah. Well, it looked like your stand from over here was pretty hopping. People enjoying what you're pouring.
No, it's been an interesting day. I got rained on so hard on the way down.
Yeah.
I can only.
So
Is it done
rainy day.
raining? I mean,
Nope.
I don't know.
Of course not. Why would
Nope. And apparently where you're going is flooded.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's like rain. Because we're going to
On your
On
wedding,
your wedding
day.
day.
And you're
We're
going to a
going
wedding.
to
Dan and I are
wedding.
going to a wedding. Congratulations, Alex and Martha.
Yes. Yes. Congratulations. Indeed. Yeah. I
So,
had fun.
It was
I
good
had fun here.
Yes,
time.
this is a nice fest.
It was a nice triumphant return. The anniversary of our first time recording on what is now our stage.
The Beer Buster stage at
It-
the Abbey Bar
Yes.
at Appalachian Brewing
Yeah.
Company.
We do have to find a way to hide a sticker up here somewhere.
Yeah. We can put it on the back of this I-beam. Nobody would ever see it, but we'd know it's here.
We would know.
the people performing
The bands
would
would
see
see it. Yeah, the
Yeah.
bands on the stage look up.
But
be
it's a
like,
very distinct point of view that only certain people get to have.
Yeah.
And we were also told that these are the couches that go back there, that the band members hang out on
And they're groupies.
behind the curtain.
God only knows what.
Yeah.
Anyone have a black light?
I was just going to say that. You had the black light out. And,
No, I left mine at home. Sorry.
oh, goodness.
Well, because we're pressed for time, and I'm sure Trevor, you have some recovering to do.
Although
before
when
we-
I got up to go get food earlier, there was a sound like ripping Velcro as I got up off the seat.
Oh,
So
that's-
I wonder if... Continue.
yeah.
There's Velcro in the couches?
Oh, totally.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know
that's what I was
Velcro?
thinking.
Yeah.
Velcro is the company's name. It's not
Yeah, it's-
actually
it's
the
one
product
of those
itself.
trademarks.
Like Kleenex?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kleenex or what's another
Isn't
one?
that funny
Band-Aid.
that that's what we
Band-Aid.
we
Hoover.
said?
Yeah.
Hoover.
In Ireland,
That's what
we
she
don't
said.
say vacuuming, we say hoovering.
Oh,
There you go.
Primar? The
Primark?
No, is that what it is? Am I pronouncing it wrong? The department store.
Yep.
Primus.
Their first one opened in the States in September in Boston, downtown
Yep.
Crossing. They're putting one in King of Prussia.
That's right.
Dublin coming
Which
to
is known as
KOP.
the actual stores in Dublin are called pennies, but the
Yes.
brand and stuff or whatever. But it's actually it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. Look at that.
So now we can think of
there's a
Trevor when we're
joke-
shopping at KOP.
There's a joke about the clothes because back in the day they weren't like super high quality, so some of the stuff was really cheap, like $3-4 or euro would have been at the time, and you could maybe only like wear it a couple times, so you'd refer to a girl, oh, she's like a pennies girl. You only get one good wear out of her.
Wow, that's mean.
Yeah.
That's really mean.
I thought it was kind of funny.
Or
Dicks.
she costs less than my daily cappuccino.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yikes.
I don't have a cappuccino.
Where
every day.
is this going?
That would be really douchey.
Dan, save us.
What
I
the
drink
hell
coffee
happened?
like a real man.
Wow, Wayne, no.
Can we end this show
Yes,
now?
please. That's why I'm telling you to shut up. Well, he's not up here, but we have to thank Mike Parker for inviting us back to...
You may have heard him shouting Beer Busters a few minutes ago as he walked by.
Looks like I can't cut that part out.
And thank you to Artie and the rest of the Appalachian Brewing Company
and it was
crew.
great meeting Adam. I'm sure he's got great things in store. And thank you, Trevor, for coming back up
Thank you guys for having all of us.
I lost count of how many times you've been on the show.
Me too.
But that's a good thing.
We were all drunk every time. Except this time.
Except this time.
Yeah,
because, I kind of wish. Well, maybe no. But it's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited for what's in store for you guys. And I'm holding you to the many times that you said we'll be first.
You will be.
All right, good. Cool. On that happy note, that brings us to the end of another episode of Beer Busters, an on-location festival. And is this our first return to a festival? I think it might have been.
And we're doing Brewphoria in November.
And that'll be the second return. Oh, God. I'm happy we're doing it, but that's just going to be interesting. Well, it's been a hell of a time. A lot of good beers that were on today. Make sure you check them all out. They were phenomenal. I'm Dan Baker, joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
And, of course, our fermentertainer,
Wayne Baker.
No squids were harmed in the making of this episode.
Though some purple monkey dishwashers may have been.
But is the monkey purple going into a dishwasher, or is it like a
or
dishwasher
is the purple,
of purple monkeys?
Is the dishwasher purple and the monkey's going into the dishwasher?
The world may never know.
So meta.